Round one, fight!
Nosfero, does this word not sound like the death bird culling the living dead at dawn? It is the name both ghouls and demons dare not say, for they know it means death for the undead.
What if the fake news canceled the world's most beloved heroes? When a tragic attack ends the lives of precious innocents, our most celebrated heroes find themselves blamed and canceled by the media that once glorified them. Now in hiding, will they be able to trust each other long enough to prove their innocence? Well, they better fight as hard as they can, because if they don't, an even bigger tragedy is coming. And this time, it will cost millions of lives. Truth, Justice, American Way, the 64-page full-color graphic novel. Get yours today, only on Indiegogo. Wednesday, July 13th, it's me, your friend Gabe Altabe, one of the creators of Isom with Young Ripa. We're setting records there, guys. It is a great day, and we're going to have a lot of fun here with my amazing friend, Shanta Angetti. We are reviewing a gem. I've never heard of it. Michael Douglas, Andy Garcia, Kate Capshaw. What a great movie. Black Rain, directed by Ridley Scott. Holy cow, Sean. How are you doing, friend?
I am doing all right. It's been a slow week on the independent comic scene. Nothing big has happened.
Right.
You haven't had any major successes this week. Anything to be unbelievably proud of. So I guess we don't have a lot to cover.
Psych.
Yeah, shall we check the current update? Is it at 1 billion yet? My reports are saying 1.5 billion, and that Eric July just bought France. I think it was.
Many such cases, as Trump would say.
These are what my reports are saying.
Yeah, people are saying, welcome in King Crow. Oh, King Crow, I haven't seen you in a while. He always says that.
Mm-hmm.
Ellie Munoz said we were late. Mighty Geek Studios. Cranberry Langas, William O3, Timmy Mello's always here, Admiral Wackass, of course.
Aye, aye.
Come in, friends. Black Rain. But let's talk a little bit of current events and all that first. But how I know the stuff, Isom, crazy with your boy Eric July. I'm combining people now. What do you think? Because I was thinking this project, 300,000. Like I thought it'd be big, and we're is it 1.5 million? I haven't checked it much today, but it's insane. What do you think? How does it look from the outside? Because I know it looks from the inside.
Well, there's so many people in the indie scene that I admire in the independent comic scene, like so many people, but I've been following Eric July as, a member of his channel and watching his show. And I remember when he was first talking about it, hearing, his dreams for this whole thing. So I have been unbelievably excited for its launch. And how do I word this? I did not expect it, but I wasasn't surprised. It's the weirdest middle zone. Do you know what I mean? When you're dealing with somebody who is such a force of nature, like we were talking the other day, he's been on the YouTube scene since he was 16 or 17 years old, metalcore artist and frontman and writer, producer, unbelievable commentator on pop culture and American, culture in general. It is a beautiful thing to see. And I am so thrilled that both you and Eric Weathers were involved in it, because you actually let me know. Eric I love him to bits, but he is such a humble man. He never mentions when he's working. He's like, oh yeah, I worked on that. I'm like, Eric, come on, buddy. But man, It looks beautiful, man. That is some beautiful work.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Let's see. It's an act of God. Yeah, I feel my steps have been ordered by God for sure, since I took a leap of faith to get away from DC and their just that filthy woke garbage they want to do. So the non-woke independent comics should ride this positive wave. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, guys, things happening behind the scenes that are insane to me. And Isom is huge. What I did with Ripa, we have a ton more coming I'm doing with him, but other deals have fallen into place now that are unbelievable. We're talking the biggest of the big stuff. I'll show you after the show, Sean. I'll probably text it to you now, something I'm working on. I've been drawing all day. And
I'll put it on my phone.
I'll send it to you. I can't believe I'm involved in it, but I guess I have to. So
I'm telling you, man. And here you go.
I am the Rippaverse. No, I'm not the Rippaverse, but yes, I'm definitely attached to it. And that's Ethan. That was a solid Ethan did me when I came out. It's such a weird terminology used in October when I declared Comicsgate publicly, and I joyfully humiliated DC Comics for their desecration of an icon, Superman. How dare you, Tom Taylor? How dare you? You should be ashamed. It was very naughty of you to do that to Superman. It is always truth, justice in the American way, and it is never truth, justice, and a better tomorrow, or whatever nonsense you want to say. When I came out on that, I didn't have work. It was a leap of faith, guys, but I knew what I had to do the right thing. And how am I going to pay my bills, my mortgage, my wife, my kids? Doesn't matter. I had to be a man of integrity and say, I will not make this filth. I will not do it. I will not denigrate the culture I love and cherish, and I'm so grateful to. And Ethan, being the guy he is, he hooked me up with some Cyberfrog, like John Malin trading cards. But then he said, talk to this guy, Eric July. His book's going to be huge. He's a big YouTuber. I didn't know who Eric July was. You know what I mean? And now I do. We're friends. I got his phone number. I text him. We talk. We laugh. And he's salt of the earth. He's a great dude.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and speaking of that, this is I mentioned this yesterday when we were on stream together. This is the 1-year anniversary of me handing in my letter of resignation and ending my today.
Oh, congratulations.
It's crazy, man. And I was thinking about what I should do, today, and I looked at my calendar and I went, "Oh, I'm on with Gabe. Perfect. That's the perfect. I mean, this is a perfect way to celebrate, man."
Do you or do you not have any pound cake or brownies or
celebratory
pastries?
I do not. I wish I did, but I saved that for Gary Martin. You know that. And I'm looking at Nosfero, guys, and all of your support. Just keep getting the word out. I could not be happier with where I am right now. And it is just, the pages are looking beautiful, and all of you guys have been amazing. and it's a big deal, you know. And I think that to see the success that Eric is having and to see the quality of the product he's trying to put out there it's going to affect people. And I'm looking at, you know, the pages of Nosfero I've got going right now, guys. It's going to be dynamite. So guys, please do check it out.
Yeah, and why don't we make this a goal for today? We're at 424 backers. Let's make that a nice 430. Sean,
right,
he deserves it. He's working his butt off. This is a fully painted, not digitally, guys. This is real painting. Is it acrylic and gouache? What are we using? This
is gonna be a combination gouache on some of the pages, acrylic on some, and both on some. So it's gonna be cool.
A gorgeous hand painted color. Let's see. Come on, 430. We can do that, guys. We can definitely do that.
Right.
You know, I went on Geeks and Gamers just on the super chat, and Eric July stopped the show and just praised me for like 5-10 minutes. So did Jeremy, and so did someone else. I don't remember, but I know he's famous because I've seen him on a lot of this stuff. And I think we've sold like couple $1,000 worth of Truth Justice in the last 24 hours, like another 60 backers. You know,
dude.
Yeah, we're almost to 70,000. So I want Sean. Yeah, we got to get him over 27. He only needs like $200-300 to do that, and let's get him to 430 today. But I don't want to give you guys the hard sell. This thing sells itself, man. Sean is a master illustrator,
and we're glad you guys are here too, because you know, this is the thing about Double Impact. We started this stuff. I mean, Comicsgate is the definition of fast friends. You know, when you get thrown into this you know, craziness where you have to come out of the closet and declare yourself sane. What a weird world we're living in. And seeing you guys here and seeing you guys ready to talk about movies like Black Rain. I had never seen it. And Gabe was like, this is what we're doing. You guys in the chat recommend it. And then we just go to it. We go watch it.
It's so good.
How
did I never hear of it? You guys, there's an emotional moment Shant and I were talking about before the show, and it chokes you up, and they earned it so well. It's so well written, this emotional thing. It dovetails into the main character's arc and the secondary guys' arc, and it's so good. It's so good, and we'll get to it. My daughter watched it this afternoon and then took a bunch of screenshots to give me, because what I'm hiring my daughter to do now is not random images. I say watch the movie and screenshot it in order so we could talk about the movie in order. So it isn't perfect yet, but that's what I got. I think that's what I got set up here. So Minnie's a big help. I'm paying my daughter to do a lot.
Yeah, Mike, I hadn't seen it. You know, Mike in the chat was asking me if I had seen it, and I'm like going, no, I hadn't. You know,
it's on Amazon Prime, guys. Check it out. It's free on Amazon Prime. Evar Johns for $5. Thank you, very generous. Great to hear about your work on Rippaverse. Big thanks for all your fine work. Much love, respect, and God bless you and yours. Thank you, and God bless you and yours too. It's my pleasure and privilege to work with excellent men like Shanthan Jetty, work with Eric July, work with Ethan and the whole CG crew, and then the excellent fan base here. Good people that just want to be entertained. And you guys are upset about Disney and DC and Marvel and what they did, and you're right. You're right to be upset. But one thing Shant has taught me, and my brother David Williams is drawing Truth, Justice, American Way, don't rage out. Turn that anger and all that into something good. You know, turn it into this, Nosfero, right? Turn it into this. Let's make something better and lift each other up with amazing art. And if you're not going to make the art, then we ask you to buy it. But if you want to join in the fun too and start making your own, I'd love to see it. You know what I mean?
Look at the beauty, man. Look at the beauty that's come out of this.
Right.
You know, when you see people who are you know, in this kind of conflict that people have brought to us, to be honest, we're just trying to ply our trade, and we don't have these unbelievably extreme ideas. Right. But you look at what comes out of them, it's ugliness. You look at what comes out of us, it's aesthetics. We fight with beauty, integrity, and work ethic. And that's why I'm so proud of everybody in the chat who puts their hard-earned dollars to work making a change in the culture. You guys make it possible. When I need to see good, I look to the chat, and occasionally some insults on my weight and things. But that's what we're here for, guys.
They do roast us.
You're here to keep us honest.
They do roast us, and we earn it when they roast us.
That's right, and we love you for it.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here hoping I don't have any ribeye in my teeth because I wolfed my dinner down, and that's why I was like a minute late today because I was just like, right on. I went to the store with my wife right before I had dinner. So, if I have meat in my teeth, sorry, guys. I looked in the bathroom mirror, couldn't find it, but I feel it, though.
He just ate an SJW who was on his lawn.
William, William03. Whoa, just checked out the Nosfero Indiegogo. Looks great. I'll be back in after I cook dinner. Oh, dude. Thank you. Shadowhawk Talks. I thought it was Shadowhawk Backs.
Mixing it up.
I think he's changed his name, or it's an imposter. We don't know.
Nailed.
Meeting My Teeth is my new band name.
Meeting My Teeth.
Nosfero is unique among all other sequential art projects on Indiegogo. Says something. It does.
Nailed.
Mike, fan of Double Impact and Black Rain. People love this movie. Maybe just Sean. Maybe we were the only two dudes that didn't know about it.
We were the last people to see it.
Right. I asked David Williams about it. And he said, "Oh yeah, great movie.
Great movie. I already saw it.
Yeah, highly recommended. If you have Amazon Prime, check it out. But not until this episode of Double Impact is over. And before we move on, the link for Nosfero is in the description. The link for Truth, Justice, American Way is there, and you're going to want to buy it because no one has seen this until just now. New pages of Truth, Justice, American Way, guys. I'm not going to show the whole thing.
Beautiful.
Hold on. Let me drag it over here. I'm going to increase the size and show some of it. But I'm not going to tell you this villain's name. I am so proud of the stuff I wrote and to see David bring it to life. And this is in the mail on the way to Gary to get inked. And it's
beautiful.
Yes. Hold on.
Yeah, man.
David threw himself on this. So this is what you're getting with Truth, Justice, American Way. David just sent me these pencils in a
look at that. You got to zoom on that character's face. David's not going to mind. Look at that.
Right. It's a little pixelated.
Come on, guys.
This was from an Instagram message. So it's a little pixelated here, but holy cats.
That is stunning.
Robot hand. You got a biohazard pirate hat. You guys are going to love this comic book so much. And move it away. And there's a little bit there. Somebody's in peril, making a face. I don't want to show the whole spread. I don't want to show it. Got to tease you guys. Let me close that image. And so jump in there, jump on the link, buy Truth, Justice, American Way. And if you want to look sexy like me, like Sean, look at these. I'll be ordering these shortly. These are the mock-ups from the printer. It's St. Clair Apparel. They did the Presties and Ethan's. Did they do any of your stuff, Sean?
No, I haven't done anything with them yet, but I'd love to talk to you about it, when we get a chance. Right. I really would love to know more.
Right above the shirt that's facing backwards is all the pricing. I deleted it because I don't need people to see it. But the prices are good. I'm going to make a profit on these, but they were more than I thought. Nobody told me to have something on the chest, something on the sleeve, and something on the neck. That was my bright idea. Apparently, that costs a little more. But when you buy from Gabe, you're getting high-quality stuff.
You're getting
not buying the cheap-ass shirts that you can see through if you hold up to the light. I'm getting the good stuff. I want you guys to look fine. I don't want my fans looking like slobs. You guys are beautiful people. I want you looking great. And I love these shirts, guys. I love them so much.
Go to my favorite.
Yeah. You take David Williams' ability to make these great chest emblems.
Iconic
emblems. And then my little contribution was the two-tone logo on the sleeve and the neck. I thought, whatever color the shirt is, we'll just have a slightly lighter, or the reversed American flag, kind of like the military has, and then Truth, Justice, American Way on the neck. And I love that. So you have the flag on that right sleeve backwards, like the soldiers, and then you have these iconic chest emblems that our heroes have. So that is the latest on Truth, Justice, American Way. And you saw those pencils, so it's humming. Your money is going to a good place. I'm spending the money on these products. I did not. I know the rumors. Everyone's saying I didn't buy a Ferrari with the money. That's not what I did.
That's true. That's the rumor. I can't believe I started that again.
Everybody's saying it, but it isn't true. It isn't true. I'm buying trading cards. I'm buying. I have 2,600 of the cardboard mailers here in my garage where I work. It is a 5 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot pallet now, just in the middle of my garage. So let's see. The movie is Black Rain. It's the movie we're reviewing tonight. We're going to get to it shortly here, but I wanted you guys. It's this movie right here, Michael Douglas. And he's great in this. He's one of the great actors. His father was one of the great actors, Kirk Douglas. Holy cats. We'll go over the plot. We'll get to the plot of this, but just in general, Shanti, if you want to sum up. Because I know you just watched it this afternoon. I watched it like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Give me your general feel on this movie, having just watched it.
You've got, you've got New York. It's a movie that takes place in and around 1989. Its release date. You've got a New York police officer who was involved in being on the take. He's also got a younger friend who's 28 in law enforcement, played by Andy Garcia. Michael Douglas is playing the lead. They stumble upon a Yakuza hit in New York, where an item is lifted off of a Japanese crime boss who was in New York. they are then forced to bring, and Michael Douglas, for people believing he's been, taking money and he's on the take, is being investigated by,
Internal Affairs.
Internal Affairs. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so he again ends up getting, ordered to take this person they've taken into custody, who is a hardcore, very dangerous man, and take him back to Japan. And as soon as they land, they hand him over to who they believe are the police, but it is really his own team of men. And they basically are responsible for him getting away. And then they want to stick around to try to help catch him. And the drama ensues when they find out what the hit in New York was about, how connected this person is, and he is playing a game of cat and mouse because he wants to take them out just because they were able to capture him. And they get sucked deeper and deeper into this plot that involves the item that was recovered by this Yakuza, young up-and-comer, but someone who doesn't respect the traditional ways of the Yakuza. So there you are.
Yeah, it's so good. And they're paired up with, I guess, a gentleman who I wasn't aware of. What is his real name? This Japanese actor. He died in 2014. He was like 80-something years old. I'll Google it really quick.
Sure.
And he's a detective there. He's very formal and rigid and stuffy. He doesn't break any of the rules. And they're paired up with him kind of to hunt down this Yakuza guy that did the assassination in New York City and stole the item. And it's, oh my gosh, it's so good. Let me look up what this guy's name is real quick.
And there's an interesting thing about this in the 80s that you're seeing, which is people who come from, he describes New York as being, New York is only shades of gray, because they're talking about the black and white philosophy of viewing Law and Order and versus the shades of gray. And this, in a lot of ways, this movie reminds me a little bit in certain tones of Beverly Hills Cop, which is to say, you've got somebody who is a detective who's been, works a little bit outside of the law every now and again, who is now finding himself in this world that is very much by the book, very much about all the rules, and them both learning from each other and learning to collaborate with each other as a result of their shared interest in enforcing the law and holding up the pillars of civilization. It's a beautiful film. Beautiful film.
It's really great. So
heartfelt.
Yeah, I haven't gone over the images my daughter sent me, so I'm hoping they're in order of the film.
Sure.
I'm trying to get her to figure that out. But here's the guys that pick up the villain. And this is the scene on the airplane. And they're dressed as police officers. They have the official paperwork and everything. So Michael Douglas and Andy Garcia, they hand him over. Again, this is Michael Douglas and Andy Garcia, their partners. They hand him over to these gentlemen. And then when they go to the other end of the airplane, they drop him off in the back. When they go to the front, the real police come up to them. And they realize what's just happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where, oh no, they're in Japan. They're white guys from America. They don't speak the language. And the prisoner they're supposed to transfer, they just flubbed that. They just got fooled.
Big time.
You know what I mean? And that's really hard for them. They head on down to the police station and they get chewed out by the Japanese police chief. I'm not sure what they would call him there. Probably just a chief. And and they're like, we'll send you home. Go home to New York. We'll figure this out. There's crazy turf wars here with different Yakuza factions. What are the mob bosses? I love the word. Oh, Oyabun, I believe.
Yes.
Oyabun was the name for a boss. I like that. That's a great word. And this kid that did the mob hit, he wants to be a Oyabun. You know what I mean? And the thing that he stole, it's a plate to make $100 bills. So he has one plate, and another Oyabun or another organization, they have the back of the hundreds. So they're going to make fake money, but he stole half of it to give himself leverage. You know what I mean? And the big older guys in their 50s and 60 years old, they're really pissed at this kid because he's reckless, he's violent, he's killing people, and he's just trying to jump the ranks, and he doesn't deserve it yet. He's only in his 20s. So he's going against convention there. So he's disrupting the order there. And then these detectives, they're from America, and let me see if I can find it. They're from America, and they're kind of disrupting the order of this culture here. Yeah. Where, hey, this is Japan. We don't do things like New York. It's where Michael Douglas tells, his name is Masahiro, I think, in the movie. Yes. And in real life, he's, I forget his name. It's Ken Takagura, amazing actor, by the way. And he just tells him that it's not like that here. You can't do these kind of things here. And that's like conflict. So he's very stuffy and rigid. Officer, they call him Masa, right? Yeah, and it's funny to me as a Spanish speaker because masa means dough. Like if
Yeah.
you're gonna make corn tortillas, it's the masa. Let's go make the masa and stuff. So Andy Garcia is kind of the sweet to the sour of Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas is hardcore and rigid, and and I don't have some photos of it. Sorry, there was some problems for my daughter. But when he chases down the killer kid, and we'll get to his pictures later, he almost gets killed by him in a meat locker. There's sides of beef hanging, and Andy Garcia saves him. And all their dialogue and their patter back and forth is he's a divorcee, Michael Douglas. He's in debt. He's being investigated. He's doing motorcycle races at the beginning of the movie to win cash. Like he's like not kind of a good guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's really struggling. I think in his heart, he's a good man who wants to protect the law, but he's really compromised a lot of things. And Andy Garcia is young and up and coming, and he's hopeful, and he has this bright disposition, and hey, glass half full. And it's a really nice dichotomy between the two of them. So you can see it in this picture here, like he's trying to cool him off. And so's Masa. Masa's kind of the same way, but more rigid. So go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say they have this funny intro to the character in the beginning where he's always wearing the nice clothes. He's clean cut, good looking young dude. And he's waving his trench coat like a matador. And Michael Douglas is using his motorcycle like a bull. And it's almost establishing their relationship. You know what I mean? Like he's the guy who's smooth and can handle people and is fun and fun loving and full of life. And Michael Douglas is sort of this world weary, wounded, bull who's always going to charge. But they are close. He hops on the back of the bike and then they go to work. Right. Go grab some spaghetti. Go grab some pasta.
Right. So to start investigating in Japan, they hit up this club that the main Oyabun, the main Japanese mob bosses go to because they got to get information. Where's the kid that murdered the boss in New York? Now we're here I don't know if they're in Tokyo. I forgot what city they said they were in. But, we go to the nightclub, and that's where we meet Kate Capshaw. She has a small role in this where she's some expatriate American that lives in Japan for 7 years now. And I'm not sure what she does. Is she a madam? Is she a prostitute? I'm unsure.
She's kind of gray.
She's mobbed up with the Oyabuns, and she kind of talks to Michael Douglas of like, stay away, you're going to get killed. You're getting too close. She's kind of playing that role. And there's this beautiful thing that happens. So Detective Masa, he's very rigid. He doesn't like these Americans' way. They're reckless. And Masa, you can see in him, he has so much respect for his culture, for his job. He confronts Michael Douglas at one point. He says, that stuff I heard about you in New York where they say maybe you embezzled, maybe you stole drug money. Is it true? And Michael Douglas kind of rationalizes it a little bit. And Masa's like, no, stealing is stealing. Like you're not my kind of guy. You don't do that. It doesn't matter if you're stealing from drug lords. So he's very stuffy, very principled, very rigid, but the guy doesn't know how to like relax and like have any fun. So when they're at this nightclub, what you're seeing there is Andy Garcia makes fun of his tie. And he says, hey, man, you can have this tie from me. Because Andy Garcia is the lovable guy, the younger detective. And he gives him a tie. And not only that, he takes him on stage. And they sing What I Say by, is that Ray Charles?
Yes. They sing some Ray Charles together, even puts some sunglasses on him with a little bit of style.
Right.
And the thing you have to understand about Andy Garcia that's so beautiful, and Gabe and I were talking about this, is his clothes are very important to him, and they're expensive. He wears nice clothes. And so this is something that happened in these 80s films. It even happened in Dances with Wolves that I love, which is this idea of men sort of, as a symbolic gesture, ritual gesture, whether it's here, you take my watch and I'll take this, that they would offer something to the other person as a form of fellowship. And that moment was beautiful, that he showed this person a way to unwind that was not about breaking the law, but was about embracing the life that you as a police officer are sworn to protect.
Yeah.
The freedom of people to not have to think about all that.
It's such a touching scene. It's so well written and so well done. Andy Garcia helping Masa out of his shell. I keep calling him Andy and Michael. It's Nick and Charlie. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Charlie is Andy Garcia. Nick is Michael Douglas. Charlie helping Masa come out of his shell and just having a good, genuine time. We're like, hey, man, I like you. I like what you're about. You're helping us investigate. We're going around town. We're trying to find this killer. And you know what? Let's have a little clean, honest R&R, some fun. And it's that real brotherhood, that slapping backs. Those of you out there, you played sports, high school football or something. The games are great, but how great were the locker rooms after a win, or the bus ride home from the other high school after a win, where everybody's joking and talking and teasing each other. And the way you guys do in the chat here, where you tease us, you make fun of us or whatever, just busting balls. And he really has this intimate moment with Masa, where he just says, you're a stuffed shirt, a stuffy guy. You're going to come up here and make a fool of yourself and sing with me.
That's right.
And it's a thing of beauty. And it shows how much heart Charlie has. It really does.
Yeah, and great actors, too. They play off each other so wonderfully.
So
beautiful.
They're leaving the club late at night, and Charlie, with his expensive, beautiful clothes, and he gives that beautiful tie to Masa, the Yakuza guy comes by on a bike, or a Yakuza guy comes by on a bike, and they don't really know what's up. And he does the bull thing again. He holds his jacket out, and the bike guy goes by, and they steal his jacket, but it's kind of like a prank, like it's funny.
Yeah.
So Charlie chases him, and he gets to a parking lot where he's surrounded now, and more bikers come out, and they start to beat him, and then they slash him with swords or knives, I guess.
Yeah, they stab him, yeah.
And Nick, Michael Douglas, he's like running through this complex because he can't find Charlie. He's like, Charlie, come back. And when he finally finds Charlie, he's stuck behind this fence in the parking garage. Yeah. And it's terrifying because you love Charlie at this point. He's such a sweet kid. And Michael Douglas is like, get out of there. And they're beating him. And there's nothing he can do. He's 30 feet away watching them beat the crap out of his friend. They stab him. They punch him. They're laughing at him. And then, he's here just screaming. And then finally, my daughter got a still of the, of the head there. He got decapitated.
Yes.
She texted me this thing. And you remember on The Office where Michael Scott's old boss lost his head in a wreck?
Yep.
And he said his capo was detained. That's what my daughter, she texted me that.
Dude.
But it was such a hard moment.
It was an awful sequence. And it was great for how it went down. Like, my wife was like, he's not gonna, like, because this is the thing about these movies, right? They actually took the time. This movie took the time for you to get to know these characters. And when it happens, you're devastated, which is what you're supposed to feel. You're supposed to feel empathy. They don't spare you. You see him suffering that ultimate nightmare, and you can't get to this person.
Right.
You're trying to save this person, and it is just rough.
It's hard to watch. It's
Yep.
hard to watch him be tortured, but I feel like watching this is worse.
Yes.
Watching your brother, your friend, be murdered, and you're
right.
behind this stupid steel fence, and you can't do a thing about it. Horrific. Just horrific. And they earn every moment of the emotionality in this. It's fantastic writing. And I don't know if I mentioned earlier, Ridley Scott directed this. How did I not hear of this movie? Yeah. And then again, the guy that plays Masa, he's Ken Takakura. He won the whatever the Japanese Oscar, their equivalent. He won it 4 times, more than any other Japanese actor. Apparently, he's one of their most famous actors in Japan.
And even more so than even if that wasn't insane enough, the cinematographer is John Dubont, who is the director of Speed, but is famous for his cinematography skills. So one of the great cinematographers, and you could see it all over this movie. It is classic Ridley Scott, classic, cinematography and storytelling and heart-wrenching. It feels like something different when you're watching it.
Yeah, it really feels beautiful. Like this movie should be talked about as a classic. And there's a Blu-ray and all that, and the people that have seen it love it. But apparently, I researched, I'm like, why did this movie flop? Because I never heard of it. It didn't flop. It was number one at the box office for 2 or 3 weeks. And then I guess it just faded out of memory for everyone. I don't know, but I couldn't recommend it more. It's not raunchy. It's not woke. There's not even a sex scene in it. You know what I mean? So like even teenagers could watch it, I suppose. It's man. And the Brotherhood here, and I agree with this somewhat, Mike. Fan of Double Impact and Black Rain. This sucks because the partners' chemistry is so good. Yeah. I would have wanted to see Charlie through the whole movie. I agree with you, dude. But this is it's one of the most powerful things I've seen in a movie in a while. This sequence here, it's so terrible. But they've earned it's not a cheap death. They earned all of it, man.
This is my highest praise. One of my favorite movies of all time from 1992. A film, I believe it was 92, was Last of the Mohicans, and the loss of the Uncas character where they're running to try to save him at the end of that movie. is one of the most gut-wrenching sequences ever, because it's just like they just can't get there in time. This is up there with that.
Yeah.
This is just a character you fall in love with. They did great stuff. And my thinking of why this movie isn't better known. It's a weird thing, but it speaks to what we do here in CG and what, so many of us have worked on, is I just don't think the poster tells you enough. It doesn't tell you enough. I would have thought it was a motorcycle racing movie from that poster, honestly, if I saw it.
Right, because it is.
Japan isn't even in there.
It's so generic. I mean, okay, I like.
It's a little bit, yeah.
I like Michael Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
What's he doing, and I was like 3/4 through the movie, and they say why it's called Black Rain, and before I heard why, I was like, it's a stupid name for a movie. Like, I feel like it was like the first name they thought of. Black Rain, rain's dramatic, black's a scary color. Okay, Black Rain. And oh no, there's a reason for the name Black Rain in this, and it actually is very significant. But on first blush, it was like, it's not B-Flaw. Now that's a name.
No, it's not. And and by the way, let's talk about this again. This is the '80s, right? This poster, and maybe it's because they were coming off of Wall Street, and that was a huge success. That was his previous movie. He won an Oscar for that. And they went with this very basic sans serif font that I don't think that movie didn't give you a flavor. Do you know what I'm saying? That poster didn't give you a flavor. And this movie is all flavor. It's a rich movie. It's beautiful.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it is. The Brotherhood. There's
Angela,
nothing like Brotherhood. I mean, I'm a Christian, and in the Bible, Jesus says he's a friend that sticks closer than a brother. So what that tells me is, wow, brothers stick close. If God is comparing himself as better than that, then that must mean Brotherhood is something. And if you've ever been in a Brotherhood, whether it's military or a sports team or just anything, what it's like to know that you have your friend's back and you'll sacrifice and bleed for him. And it's a beautiful thing, Brotherhood.
Yeah, it's Comicsgate too, man. You see that kind of thing when, to watch you guys and so many people in CG be excited for and lift, Eric July, all of his fans up. That is what's so beautiful. And what's interesting is out of these crises, when you're with the right kind of people and you're around the right kind of people, out of these crises, which none of us can escape, they're going to happen in life. New and unlikely bonds happen that change you and the person that you're friends with, your new friends, for the better. And that is what this gentleman brought so much to this movie.
Right.
Him and Douglas's chemistry becomes the next phase in the evolution. And I like to think that as you get towards the tail end of this movie, that Charlie, Andy Garcia's character, is somewhere looking down and smiling on his brother's evolution and evolution of both of these guys that he took to heart. It's beautiful.
Right. So, of course, what this movie turns into, you can predict, is Michael Douglas is more determined than ever to go find what in the world is the killer's name? And I haven't even shown him yet.
Was it Sato?
It was Sato. Yeah, Sato. Sato is the punk kid that Michael Douglas wants to kill him. The Yakuza wants to kill him. The Japanese police everyone wants to get this guy. And he's a dangerous monster. He's unpredictable. He's wild. And my goodness, he's causing trouble. So
he has no love for human life, man.
Right.
He's even the Yakuza talk about the traditions that they have and that there is still honor within that. They view him much like the police view him in an interesting way. Like, they will double cross you, but there's a way it happens. This guy is like, a monster who flips a coin in his head for what he's going to do. Like, his morality is not is not tethered to anything. He's completely untethered, unhinged as a character. He's chaos incarnate.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of flipping a coin, I know what movie we got to do next then. What time do you close?
Yes, No Country for Old Men. One of my favorite.
Now we close now.
Yeah. You married into it.
Yeah.
I don't have some way of putting it.
You've been putting up with it your whole life.
Yeah. Right. That's the greatest movie.
Yeah, No Country for Old Men. By the way, Cormac McCarthy is my favorite author. I have read his entire oeuvre, I've read every book he's ever done. I have a theory that all of his books take place in hell. But man, they are all amazingly written.
Right on.
No, you're wrong, buddy. It's a fantastic movie. It's fantastic. Put the quarter back in your pocket.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
You've been putting up with it your whole life.
Yeah,
right?
that was.
Oh, what a great Anton Chigurh, one of the most terrifying villains of all time. No Country for Old Men. Yeah, Cormac McCarthy. His best book, in my opinion, is Blood Meridian. Holy cow, insane book.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you this too. Hey, listen, we on how do I word it? We are not Reddit. We welcome people with differing opinions here, and we welcome the support of people with differing opinions. Yeah, and I will tell you, because I know someone had brought that up earlier in the chat. About that whole thing. Look, I am thrilled when I have a business and I'm out here in the world welcoming anybody who wants to buy my property to buy it. I'm thrilled when other people make the opposite decision. Fools, turning away great customers, people who want to be there. Hail Leg Kick One, and hail all of you guys. It's great to see you guys here. But you've got these characters who are just unhinged. And they are this. You have this character who is unhinged being chased by a character who is slightly unhinged in Michael Douglas, and it's really about the evolution. You said it beautifully. It's about the evolution of that character, really reconnecting on a deeper level with the fact that he is on the path of good and the righteous path, and he reconnects with it. He's been shaken by his divorce and shaken by his own weaknesses as a person. Right. And that's what the evolution is. He doesn't know that's what's happening. He thinks it's just another revenge kick. But we change by the company that we keep and the people who serendipitously are thrown into our lives. And this new person who has to take on the role for each other of partner, because they're both, they've both been disgraced in a sense by the machinations of this Sato character. They have to do it. They have to pull together. And the one who is the more conservative of the two in terms of the rules, the stricter one, who is the Japanese partner, he is looking at the American guy, and the American guy is realizing he needs a partner. Like he needs this guy, and this guy takes him to task, man. Takes him to task about, your friend would be dishonored by the way you conduct yourself. What a line.
Right.
Whew.
Yeah.
What a line.
Yeah.
That got me. I couldn't believe he went there. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I think as men, when someone hits you with honor and how you've dishonored yourself or your friends or your family, that cuts deep. I think the greatest fear that all men have is not physical, pain or, being injured or killed. It's humiliation. We men, we never want to be seen as incompetent, just failures, weak, not able to solve problems and stuff. That's a nightmare for men, to be known as incompetent, to be known as just humiliated. We don't want that. We want to achieve and conquer. And so his friend, poor Charlie, he's killed. And now Nick, Michael Douglas, he has to go after, I got to find this guy. Yeah. And so Masa and Nick, they follow this lady here, and she's doing drops for the mafia, for Sato, the main bad guy that I have not shown you. Let me show you a picture of Sato. I keep mentioning him, and I don't. This is Sato, just so now you know what Sato looks like. Yeah. This is Sato here. And so now you have a picture in your head. Sorry that took so long to show you. But it's really cool. You get this great 1990s style scene where, so they're following her around, trying to figure out what she's doing and what they're dropping. And it leads them to the greatest trope of all time from the 80s and 90s, the Fire Factory. They don't actually make anything. Yes. They make fire at this factory. They find some of these Japanese gangsters. They have an awesome shootout, but it ends in Nick, Michael Douglas, getting arrested, and the Japanese authorities are like, you're out of here. You're getting deported. So they said, we'll figure it out. We're sending your friend's body home to New York, and you're going to be on the same plane. You're going back to, you're done here. Forget it. Sato got away from you. We'll find him ourselves. So Michael Douglas is on the plane, and I don't have any photos of that. Sorry. He's on the plane, and he's looking out the window, and he sees the ramp. And on the ramp, loading in the plane, is Andy Garcia, Charlie's coffin. And he's just like, he can't deal with that. That's too much.
Yeah.
So he sneaks out of the plane. He goes through the cargo hold. He almost gets crushed. Like if you have anxiety about weird machine like accidents, he goes right by the big metal containers of luggage and just barely squeezes through. And then he goes back to Masa's apartment and tells Masa, you got to help me. And Masa's like, you got me suspended. If we go after him on our own, this is ridiculous. And they have this talk, Sean. And how does Michael Douglas persuade him?
Oh my gosh. That was, what was the line? It's because I love the line.
Right. That's why I asked you, because I forgot it and I love it too.
No. Hold on.
He tells him you have to sometimes, sometimes is it something about finding your balls or?
No, it's like sometimes you gotta go for it or something like that. It was like, oh gosh.
It's all right.
It's killing me.
Anyway, he goes to his apartment. Masa, get out of here. So he tells him to leave. And he's going to go hunt down where Sato's going to meet with the Oyabuns, the big bosses, because Sato's going to play his card now. He's going to tell the Oyabuns, I have the plate to make the phony $100 bills. You have the other one. You're going to give me territory. You're going to give me, whatever they do, prostitutes, running, drugs, guns, whatever they do. He's going to say, this is what I want. He's going to the meeting to meet all the Oyabun at this place out on some farmland. And then this older guy, he's the he's the big boss. And he's mad at Sato. He doesn't like what's going on here. And then you see right there the quote, your methods are crude and disgraceful. And so to atone, that's out of order. Sorry. That was in the Fire Factory. I don't know how that got out of order. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'll go over that really quick. So we have a couple more of the Fire Factory. Sorry about that. But there's an amazing shootout in the fight there. But let's get over to the meeting. So, wow, how did that one get tucked in there?
Yeah,
guys, I'm going to back up.
Yeah.
We're not going to go to the Oyabuns yet because there was a bunch of the Fire Factory and I didn't know about it. It was just that guy was out of order. But there's a great scene that they have a shootout. They're around all the machines.
Yeah, they're in the steel factory and the sparks are flying. And,
right.
And the line was, sometimes you got to go for it. That was the line.
Okay, so he tells. Okay, so but they're getting away on motorcycles, the Yakuza guys, and he shoots at the guy. And the motorcycle hits like just a construction vehicle, and it literally explodes.
Yes, it's a rough one. He will.
I love that in action movies. A car's trunk seems to just be loaded with dynamite or something. They always just explode at the smallest tap. So it was it was very nice. Let's see. That was a hot bike, and Japan was the greatest exporter of fire with the excellent fire manufacturing industry. That is true for people that didn't know that. Absolutely.
That's right. Yeah. Leading. Yeah. Matchstick vehicles. Simply green. You got me with that one.
Yeah. I don't know how this photo got way up here. I'm really sorry about that, guys. That got way out of order. So let me go back because we have photos of some of the things I was talking about. So here he is on the airplane sneaking out. So I had those photos. I thought we were jumping way ahead. I should have looked at these before the show, but I was eating a delicious steak. Sorry.
Yeah, things are nuts.
So here he is with Masa in the apartment telling him sometimes you just have to go for it, right? Oh, sorry about that. And he goes back to the nightclub, talks to Kate Capshaw's character, and she tells him where the Oyabuns, they're all going to have this big meeting. Sorry I glossed over all that. Sorry. But, absolutely. So he confronts the big boss at a golf range.
And they're not playing.
Yeah.
They hold him over. It's a double-decker driving range. And the one of the bodyguards just shoves him and then grabs his shirt and is holding him dangling from his heels are balanced on the edge while the boss decides what he wants to do with this guy. And it is a great. Let me pause here for a second because there's some people in the chat saying, first of all, someone recommended the movie The Hunted with Christopher Lambert. I own that on Blu-ray.
Wow.
So I would love to talk about that movie. Ninjas, samurai in modern day for the time. Great movie. And then people were talking about, I forgot how beautiful this movie looked. The thing I said to my wife when we were watching this movie was, I go, look at how beautiful this movie is. Look at how real it is. The sets are real. The location is real. It really got me thinking about how much aesthetics has come to mean throwing sugar on everything. Throw glitter and sugar on it and it'll be beautiful. Right. They don't know the beauty of a hazy, humid sunset through a factory. They don't know the beauty of the light coming in through the blinds in a police station. They don't know that beauty. This movie knows that beauty, and the beauty of interesting faces and characters doing interesting things.
Right. You're absolutely right. I mean, you and I, we both work in professional illustration art, and the problem with After Effects and Photoshop and all these things is how powerful they are. And then you'll have an editor or a director who is not an artist, and they'll be like, can you put more zazzle on it? You know, and they just want you to, like you said, put sugar on everything. And it's like, if you do that, it becomes wallpaper. Just this pattern, and nothing stands out. You know what I mean? If everyone was 7 feet tall, then nobody would be tall, right?
Yes.
So if you just put, like you say, sugar everywhere, special effects and lighting and lens flares and sparks and smoke effects, you lose the mood. You lose the composition. It turns into confetti, into like a glitter bomb. It's just, and this movie doesn't have that. This movie's gorgeous. You're right.
Yeah,
I think there's a 4K restoration from 2007. I'm pretty sure is what I read.
Aesthetics by committee seek to remove any of the potential hard edges that might offend or might make people not like it. But true beauty, real beauty, is the fortunate arrangement of both soft and hard edges, lights and dark. It's not an average. And funny enough, it's the mundane beige of our culture right now. Right. Everything is so bright that if you average the colors, you get beige. You don't ever get something striking. And as what Gabe knows, as a colorist, as someone who studies painting and brought all of that to Eric July's amazing, Ripaverse that he's doing right now. Right. This stuff is what aesthetics and beauty is. And you're right. Yes, John DeBont is the director of photography. When I saw his name, I knew I was in for a treat, guys. And I think that's what you guys demand for us. Yeah, real Sean Crumble, you're absolutely right. It's visual vomit. It absolutely is. It's the Technicolor yawn, as they say. And it is bad stuff, man. And look at those are great faces. That's beautiful. Look at the smoke moving in front of the face there, guys. Right. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's very well done. That's someone who honed their skills over the years and knows their stuff. Absolutely. Yes. I'm trying to find just one photo of Ken Takagura with when they stormed the place.
Yes.
Okay, I got it here. Let me load it in here. Sorry, I just have to add it to what I'm doing. Okay. All right. So what happens next? They go to that big Oyabun meeting where Sato's meeting with the big bosses. He's going to strong arm everyone. He's going to get his territory.
Nosfero shows up just for a minute, but then it goes back to the movie.
Right. Oh man, technical difficulties. You got to be kidding me with this. Yeah. So he's going to go to there. So first, the Oyabun are scolding Sato. You know, what your methods are crude and disgraceful. Yeah. And they make him do that thing where he has to sacrifice the pinky. And if Bob Newfart is watching right now, he hates my crooked pinky. And I have one on this hand too. That's me straightening my pinky out, guys. So a lot of drawing. So
that's right.
But they do that thing where they hand him the knife and he has to stab. But when after he cuts his pinky off, he ends up stabbing the Oyabun, and then there's a big shootout and everything starts to go crazy. But in the meantime, Michael Douglas with Andy Garcia's revolver and a shotgun has been stalking this. It's out on I think it was filmed in Northern California because it looks like wine country, but I think it's supposed to be rice paddies with all the layers, but it's not. But it's this remote like little cabin out there where these guys are having this meeting, and he's stalking up because he wants Sato. He's got to get him because of what he did to Charlie, and and that's right before he cuts the pinky off. You know what I mean? And that's right after.
Yep.
And that's a very large head. I guess my daughter took that picture at quite the angle. They have a crazy 1989 style shootout. And the great thing is, guess who showed up?
That's right.
Guess what he said? That's right. He showed up and he said, "You're right. Sometimes you have to go for it." I know that's a copyrighted picture or whatever.
No, but it's great, man. And it's also, he reveals to him in showing up that the standoff they're about to have is far more complicated, because he didn't realize that these people who are posing as farmers are actually surrounding the group that is making the deal, thinking that the older bosses are making a deal with this young guy. He sacrifices his pinky. they think things are going to be square. And he's got his team hidden around, waiting to storm. And one of them almost kills Michael Douglas's character, Nick. And he's rescued by a person he didn't even know he had a partner. He was going solo. And then this guy shows up and is like, nope, we doing this. Period.
Right. So, yeah. And then in the start of the movie, Michael Douglas does a bike race, like under the Brooklyn Bridge against some biker gang guy. And so the callback to that is he chases Sato, who's cross-eyed crazily in this picture. Yeah. He chases him down both on motorcycles. And then they have this big wrestling match in the mud. And he gets the upper hand on Sato, and he sees that he can kill him by shoving him onto this really sharp piece of either wood or metal, I forget. And you think he's going to kill him. And then it cuts to he's handing Sato over to the police. So I think he has this character arc there where he's kind of this bull in the china shop. Earlier, he told Masa, yeah, New York, it's shades of gray. And I think he realizes I could be one of them, the bad guys, the monsters, or I could be on the side of good. And I think that's something that's very pertinent to all of us, myself included, in this culture war where, I've cussed people out on Twitter and I got to delete that. That's nonsense because now I'm acting like them. I got to find a better way, a smarter way, not give in to wrath, right? There's a reason it's one of the 7 deadly sins. So he overcomes his wrath at the very end of this, which is a beautiful thing.
But it's amazing too, because it's so tied to the conversation he has with his partner. And funny enough, it is almost like this is the thing about the giving of something to somebody and then they return something to you and it makes the thing more powerful because of who it's from, right? So it can also be a bit of perspective. So he told his friend, his new partner said, who he told sometimes you got to go for it, but also told him when you do the dishonorable thing, you dishonor your dead friend. Because he's in law enforcement, I'm in law enforcement, you dishonor us. In that moment, he has the opportunity, just like his new friend who comes in that moment and says, I'm going to act on his advice to go for it. He acts on his advice to be the hero and to not give in and to not dishonor the profession of law enforcement, which one of them formerly passed away, he died as a member of law enforcement, and then the 2 other who now must carry on this tradition. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah. And is the scene here at the end, or was it in the middle when they had Andy Garcia's belongings and he gives him his badge? Was that?
Oh my gosh. This is a beautiful scene. You're absolutely right. So we skipped this part right here. This is before he ends up getting arrested and put on the plane. He gets arrested for gun possession. The reason he's got a gun and the reason why the gentleman in the picture with him here gets suspended or whatever and is no longer a detective is because he brings him the box of his belongings. The guy's like, I want to open it later. He's like, no, open it now. And the reason he's giving it to him is because one of the belongings is the gun they confiscated from him. So he is essentially giving a gun to Michael Douglas's character that he knows he's not allowed to have. And before Michael Douglas gets to the gun, he sees his friend's, Andy Garcia's character, Charlie's badge, and he hands the badge, which is to say his partner's badge, to this other person. And when he goes to his house to visit him, he has got it in a place of reverence in his home.
Right.
And that's beautiful, man. Now, that is beautiful.
I want to show you guys this more so you can get a better feeling for Charlie. This is way back in the first act or whatever, or maybe the second act, actually. Yeah. When Charlie's at the club with Masa and with Nick, and he's being a sweet guy, and he's going to go sing, and he's going to get Masa out of that stuffiness and let him just have some carefree fun because he's that kind of guy. He loves people. He loves life. He loves being good to people. So I'm going to play this at double speed, and if the channel gets shut down where we're going, we'll come back. I want you to see this real quick. Hopefully when I press play, we don't get a diarrhea medicine commercial, but I'm going to push play now.
Well,
It's sped up, so. I think that was like such a wonderfully kind. It's so well acted. The sincere kindness, the way he puts the glasses on him. Do you know what I mean? It's like tender care. Like, hey man, I barely know you. We've had a little bit of adventure here as cops together. I like you. You're my brother. Let's make fools of ourselves and sing, and the crowd's gonna love it. And like, I don't know. It's just, and when they kill him after that, my goodness.
The glasses, too, are such a sign of a symbol in narrative storytelling of changing the person's perspective by allowing them to see differently. And so he takes this stuffy guy and puts the cool glasses on him and kind of opens him up to the fun of the environment, of the moment that they're in. That life isn't all work and then after work. Sometimes life is about going out and living and having a great time. And I think that's what so many hardworking, good people are looking for in the entertainment we make and the entertainment we promote, which is escapism. You know, when you get Nosfero, first and foremost, it is going to be a little pocket of escapist fantasy beauty in your home, just like Truth, Justice, American Way is. That's what it's about. And I want you guys to be thinking about that when you're looking at this stuff, is that we're not looking to do better than the worst stuff being done today. We're looking to do as well or better as the best stuff from yesterday in history. That's the fun of what we're doing. And those are huge shoes to fill, but we do so with reverence, and we do so with our passion and our skill.
Absolutely. Yep. So at the end here, they get an award for being able to arrest Sato, the Yakuza upstart. This is the award ceremony here, and they say their goodbyes, and it has this really touching ending, a very 80s ending, where Michael Douglas Nick has gotten Masa a gift, and it's really cool. He actually gives Masa the $100 bill plates.
Yes,
in the thing. So I kind of wonder, what's he telling them to do with those? Like, is he telling them to use them, or is he telling them to turn them into the authorities and get the credit for turning them in?
That was the thing. I thought about it, and I have to say this was the beautiful part of it. He says to him what he believes about Michael Douglas's character, and is left with the idea before that moment is Michael Douglas's character gave himself permission because it was expedient to do the wrong thing for money. And so at the end of the movie, they can't find the two plates that would allow somebody to counterfeit $100 bills. And Michael Douglas's character said, you know, if someone had those plates and the right connections, implying that he, of course, does, they would never have to work a day in their life. That all their family would be paid for and taken care of because they have these plates. That's what they could do, even though it's the wrong thing to do. And then when he is walking away, he says, here's this, but I got you a present. They exchange presents, and he's walking away. The Japanese police officer opens it up, and it's both those plates. And it's his way of saying, I've turned a new leaf, but in the biggest way possible. I hope I've redeemed honor to our profession and to myself. I can't think of a more beautiful ending, because it's not just about him returning some money. It's about him, the cheap way out. You know what I mean? It's about the obsession with the money, the obsession of the currency, frankly, the plates that the villain was chasing. He's saying, no, those aren't the plates I need. That's not what I need. I'm not chasing that. And I'm now going to recommit myself.
Right. And I skipped over one small plot point that makes it even more poignant. In the beginning of the second act, they raid one of the Yakuza's hideouts, and there's counterfeit money there. And Michael Douglas steals some, and Masa sees him do it.
Yes.
But Michael Douglas steals it to analyze it to see if it's fake money, because he suspects it is. And he does some stuff where he burns it, and they don't explain the science, but he finds out it's fake money, and he's going to tell the Japanese cops. But Masa tells on him before that. So he's called into the chief's office, and you're here, you're stealing in New York, and you're stealing here, you're a dirty cop. And then he shows them, he shows the chief and Masa, and, you know, Andy Garcia knows because he was already telling Andy Garcia, look, and he burns the money and does the thing that proves it's fake money. So you have this thing where Masa got on his case about being a thief there in Japan, and he wasn't. So at the very end, he could have taken off with those metal plates, and he didn't. So you're right, Sean. That's just a beautiful transformation of his character there to completely redeem himself from that accusation of being this dirty cop that compromises and all that stuff.
That beautiful line where he says something that I really like. He says, next time you have a thought like that, he says this to Masa, he goes, come to your partner first, which was another thing. Like, yes, there's this hierarchy, but if you want to be treated with respect like a partner, come to your partner first. Ask your partner why they're doing that first. Yeah. And this is people are complicated. People are very complicated. And there's a lot of things, and maybe it's you've got me in a philosophical mood because it is the 1-year anniversary. Yeah, good marriage advice too, John. Absolutely. It's partially because of that. But sometimes the big, the stands that we make are not ones of pushing the person, as he had the chance to do, who killed his partner, down on the sharp object. Sometimes they're standing up for law and order and law enforcement as opposed to law destruction and erosion. Right. Sometimes they're about what you don't do. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And as much as they are what you do, it's a very complicated, it's a nuanced sort of thing. It's knowing when to throw a punch and when not to throw a punch.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's wild.
Yeah. I think it's such a nuanced human thing that we all deal with is wrath and rage and impulsivity. I mean,
sure.
That's what screws us up.
Struggle.
That's what makes us stumble is impulsivity and not emotionally regulating. And it makes me think of Superman. Mm-hmm. And people have so much trouble writing him because he's overpowered. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the most effective ways to write him is to write him in conundrums where he has to exhibit restraint.
Yes.
Where Superman's like, I could punch the earth in half to solve this problem, but if I do, what are the repercussions? Yep. You know what I mean? So I think restraint is a thing that Michael Douglas has to learn here, because his life is messed up. He's divorced. It opens up with he's checking an answer machine, and his wife's like, oh, you can't have the kids this weekend. They're going to Judy's or whatever. You can have them next weekend, and blah, blah, blah. He's paying alimony, and he lives in a shabby apartment, and you know what I mean? And he doesn't have enough money. He rides a motorcycle. I don't know if he chooses that or he can't afford a car or something. I'm not sure, but situation's not good for him. And the opening scene is he's dragged into internal affairs, and they're like, come on, you and your buddies, the other cops, we know you stole the drug money. Just admit it. We can't prove it, but we know you did it. We're gonna catch you. And you're wondering when you're watching, like, did he steal money or not? It's an unrelated, if they don't show this theft in the movie, but you find out he admits to Masa that, yeah, I took a little bit because I had to. And that's still when he's like the gray man. He's the gray man who would have killed Sato on that sharp stick. When he's like, it's okay because I need to do it. Like, I tweeted out today, I was talking about postmodernism.
Sure.
If you make yourself God, you can rationalize anything.
Yes.
If you don't have any standards, if you don't have a moral compass, if you don't believe that there's something greater than you, and you are the zenith of the universe, you're the center of everything, then of course you can rationalize anything because, well, it's different when it's me. Mm-hmm. And that is the heart of evil,
Yeah, well, this is so funny, right? Because what we're talking about here, and you and I have now done enough of these shows to where, there you go. Well, listen, as long as we can help anybody on their journey, wherever that may be.
Sean, that is the opposite of what I wanted you to get from this.
But I was thinking about our movie that we watched, because now we've done enough of these to where there's almost this language that we're building. If you've watched all the episodes of this, when we watched Nighthawks and Billy D. Williams says, you should have taken the shot.
Right.
Like this is not an easy, this is not a unambiguous world. The only thing you can make unambiguous as best as you can is the way you approach it, know? And I think Jordan Peterson was talking about this today, had a really interesting video, and he was talking about this idea of, defeating the evil that is in your own heart as being an important thing. And what a unbelievable amount of work that is. And Michael Douglas's Nick is dealing with that. Do you know what I mean? He's dealing with the saddest thing about how he's conducting himself at that point is, and what other characters see in him is he could be so much more.
Right.
He could be so much more. He could be great, but he's lost faith in it. And
Right.
that's what's restored by the Fellowship, by the Brotherhood, by the trip where he goes on this journey and experiences something that changes him. And he brings that back with him, just like the other police officer experiences something that changes him. The beauty
Right.
of two different kinds of people coming together as individuals, as cultures, whatever it is. That's what makes things amazing and life worth living.
Yeah, I am fascinated that this movie didn't do better. But
Yeah.
someone pointed out way back in the comments, I posted it, but I didn't read it, that
Sure.
1989 was just an insane year for movies.
It was.
You had Batman, you had like Lethal Weapon, 2 or 3
Mhm.
at that point, and he named like 3 or 4 others.
I
That's
think
just-
The Last Crusade was 1989 too, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
really? Oh, that's right. The summer of '89, that one came out too. I'm trying to find that comment.
Yep, 1989, Indiana Jones and Last Crusade.
Yeah, it was way back, that comment. But okay, so that must be it. And I didn't find that comment, but I found this random comment from Gary Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Fears me.
Yes. I've got news for you, Gary. We all fear you. Every morning when I wake up, I make sure there's not a pile of my shoes where the laces are all tied together. I mean, these are the things, Gary, that keep me up at night.
Right. Let's see. What is this here? You have government officials, celebs, and police officers not being held to their stated standard. Of course, people wouldn't hold to a good moral standard. No one in general does. Yikes.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, when you're doing work and you're doing books for Comicsgate, and this is something that, and by the way, I want to be really clear about what's so great about this as an independent movement. We are all individual creators united by a very similar set of principles. They're not complicated principles. They're good customer service, putting out a great product. And believe me, it's not as if everybody is going to be perfect, but what we can at least do is not strive to be horrendous, which is what you're seeing in the mainstream, right? And I mean, truly, like, that's how low the bar is, but we're still rising to do it. So when I do this work, I have to be able to be creative and realize that I'm the person responsible for bringing this creativity. When you guys back the book, you are it's not just a purchase, right? It is a commitment, an investment by you to make this stuff happen. And as we saw with Eric July, the power of people supporting people that they believe really care about this stuff and mean it. And Gabe and I both mean it. And David Brohawk Williams means it. And Gary Martin means it. And Ethan Van Sciver means it. And John Malin means it. All of these creators, right? And we do this stuff because we've got a certain code of conduct. And some of it is patriotism, love of and gratitude when I say that, for the freedom that we have to create, the liberty we have to create. And then we just bring our best work. And that's all it's about. And I think about how when I see movies like this, the impact they have is not a 2+ hour distraction. It's a 2+ hour affirmation of what is best in humanity, and that what is best in humanity can sometimes be accessible to you with just making a change in your behavior, not doing the wrong thing when you know it's wrong.
Right.
The 12 rules for life, as Jordan Peterson said so well.
Right.
Tell the truth or at least don't lie. One of my favorite.
At least don't lie.
Yeah. It's simple.
All these things we're not supposed to do to other people. We're not supposed to, but don't do them to yourself. And chiefly, lie. We all do it. You lie to yourself. Like I joked earlier, it's different when it's me. Well, I need this, so it's okay. So, Nick Conklin, I think that's Michael Douglas's last name. It's okay that he stole from the drug dealers a little bit of money because he needed it. He's got the rent. He's got the alimony. You know what I mean? He's got groceries, bills. Come on, they're drug dealers. It's dirty money anyway. And it's so easy to fall into that. It's so easy to fall into rationalizing bullshit behavior. And like you said, this isn't a 2-hour distraction. What this is it's like life affirming, aspirational stuff, showing you that you can be in it. You can be in it thick. You can be in it bad, and there's a way out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is a way out if you're gonna rely on your character and rely on the truth. The truth sets us free, right? We know that. It's in the Bible, but we see it every day. The truth sets us free. So if you what the truth is I'm not supposed to do this stuff, so I'm not going to. You know.
Yes.
So
and my quote that I'm going to drop in the chat here for you guys, and it's I believe it's a William Durant quote. It's been misattributed a bunch of different times because it's an interpretation of an Aristotle quote, but I love it. And it is the quote, "We are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an act, but a habit." And if you believe in neuroplasticity, you believe that we can change our habits, and it's our habits that define us. So Michael Douglas felt like his past actions had defined him beyond redemption.
right.
But you can make a change to be a different kind of person. We don't need to define ourselves by our shortcomings and our faults. We need to acknowledge them. We need to admit them, but then we have to take the next step and change our behavior and do something about it. And it's difficult. I fall short of the glory aplenty. We all do. But it doesn't mean you lower the bar so you can meet it.
Right. Oh yes, never lower the standards because it's not real. Yeah. But here's the wonderful news about changing your life. The moment you decide to change your life and you take any action in that direction, your life is changed. Because the entire change, say it has 1,000 steps to get to this goal of change. Which one of the steps is the step? None of them. They're all equal in value, each little Lego you're putting together. So if you just do one today, there you are. You know what I mean? If you're, I'll simplify things. If you're, you want to start exercising, well, you're going to have to exercise for a year or whatever to lose the weight you want, get in shape. But if you just exercise today, there you go. That's who you are now. And then just do it tomorrow. And then just do it the next day. And just look at it. My favorite Roman emperor, Marcus Aurelius, he said the best way to keep intrinsic motivation is to focus on the current step. Yes. So if you want to change your life, you can change it in the next 30 seconds. You can. You say, you know what? I don't do that anymore. And as soon as you quit doing it, you're a champion. Just keep it up.
And on my on the thing I rest my hand on so I don't smear my art, of course, because you and I are brothers in this way.
The soul becomes oh, go ahead. Sorry.
You're right. You read it. I can't read.
Oh, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius.
There you go.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's what we're here to do. You know, that's what we're here to do, and it's quite an amazing thing because you could look at. Yeah, that's right. You sure I have a favorite Roman emperor. It's an amazing thing because when I made the decision to step away, it was according to Hoyle, leap of faith. And when Gabe made his decision, it was a leap of faith. When he signed on to work on the Rippaverse, when Eric July, God bless him, invested $200,000 of his own money, and people were saying, you don't do that, you don't do that. And he's like, I've been doing this since I was 16 or 17. I am committed to I know my audience has my back. What a thing to say to your audience. A beautiful thing to say.
Right.
You know, absolutely. And thank you, Timmy Mello. And I said to myself, these people are going to see me. They know me from doing videos for Ethan and you know, doing the Cyberfrog trading card I did hadn't even come out yet. And so I was really leaping into the unknown. But I said, I really believe these people are going to see me and they're going to know I mean it. You know, they're going to know it. And that's a leap of faith. And I prayed about it. I was, you know, it was a very big decision. And I am so grateful every day for all of you guys who back the book. I hope I say it enough.
Right.
Because it is true. And look at this. This is wind in my sails this week. This is wind in my sails for a million reasons.
Right. I mean, money is not the be all end all, but in capitalism, it is the scorecard.
Yes.
And I was talking to Eric about this. He's a sports guy. He played Division I sports. I think he was on the track and field team at Texas A&M. I believe that's what he told me. And I'm a big sports guy. I'm a weightlifter and all that. And I talked about being undeniable with what we do. And as a baseball analogy, it's like you could hit the ball in the field and get to first base before they throw you out or whatever. My style, I'm going to hit the ball into the parking lot. It's a home run. Nobody can argue with me. Nobody can call me out. Nothing. No instant replay. Nothing. It's in the parking lot. That's a home run. And when you look at something like this, it's undeniable. SJWs, anybody that wants to shut us down, they can't. We don't need you. We're making a parallel economy. You know, they kicked him off Reddit. You can't talk about Rippaverse on Reddit. You know,
well, they should. I mean, because Eric July is a white nationalist. But if I can take a moment just to highlight something, read one of Angela Curry's comments up a little ways. So the vid, as we'll call it, is going around my house, and it found me. I thought having antibodies would protect me, but nope. Prayers appreciated. We will do so, Angela Curry. We will do so. Promise. That's a promise. Yes, and take care, and you feel better.
Yes, absolutely.
We will pray for a speedy recovery for you, my friend.
Yep. If you're the praying kind out there, do so for Angela and her family.
Please.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, look at this, Gabe. Let me ask this question, because I was not on the inside of this. Like you and Eric Weathers, who are international men of mystery, as we know. How did you feel when you saw this? Because you were there, you know, outside of Eric July and you know, the folks in Dallas that I'm sure he works with on music and other things. You were in on the ground floor as close as one can be, not being Eric July.
Right.
What did you think on the day watching that count? Like, what was going through your head?
Big, but I didn't know what to think. I thought 200, 400. That's about what I was thinking. 300. And I was telling my wife in the car, we went to Costco this afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And we got in the driveway, and I was doing some math in my head. And I said, if you just look at dollar figures, I think I have the highest selling comic book in America right now, more than Spawn, more than Batman, more than anything. If you're just looking at straight dollars, if Spawn is what, $4 and they sell 100,000 copies, we got them beat. That's only $400,000, right? So I think right now I have the highest dollar value comic in the country.
Yes.
Comicsgate has it.
Yeah.
Eric July has it. The fans have it. We did it. That is something to think about, man.
And you know what's so funny? Because you show this a little bit on your channel, but we can't show it all the time. But you are oftentimes sitting there in the dark, coloring and taking your skill and practicing your trade in a way that's not all glitz, it's not all glamour, but it's your discipline that you give to every project you work on. To me, it is no surprise that you know you're working on this project, because I think game recognizes game and excellence recognizes excellence, and we can all lift each other up with that. And there is, I will say this, guys, what made me smile the biggest about the success of this is there's so much excellence, as Eric July would call it, in our space, with the fans and the backers in our space. There is so much excellence. And I love creating work for you guys. And I love that you guys are funding Nosfero. You guys are making this happen. And every day when I go to my desk to work, that is what really is the beautiful part of it. You know, as I'm thinking about you guys, think about the backers. And I couldn't be more excited. And I've got two of the Cyberfrog trading cards. Some of you guys will be getting that soon. The one I worked on for Ethan. When the Visions book ships, there's a piece in there from me, from John Malin's Godlike campaign. And then CG Vacation is going to have another one of my pieces in it as well. So I'm going to be having a lot of Comicsgate stuff ship, in addition to Nosfero, which has got just a handful more pages on it, you know, and then it's the going over it again and tweaking it and making sure it's what it is. So we're there, guys. Beautiful, dude. Look at that.
Yeah, this is
a time lapse. Gorgeous.
Yeah, this is a time lapse of me coloring some of that cover. I record myself coloring a lot of Wraith of God, Truth, Justice, and I'll use it for my YouTube videos. But I've been sitting on this and Wraith of God videos for months because I can't publish these till the books, you know. But yes, since this cover's been published, I can show this video a lot. So
beautiful.
Yeah, this is on my YouTube channel. I do a voiceover on this one, and I try to keep my recorded videos very short, 5 minutes, 4 minutes. You know, 7 at the most, but I keep those short. So, yeah. And guys, if you're enjoying this, make sure you hit the like, share this out, and make sure you're subscribed.
Please absolutely. Please, guys. We do appreciate it. It makes a huge impact. No pun intended.
Right. So I got a funny comment on this video here. Someone told me after watching this, they know for sure they can't color comics. So
well, hopefully it'll inspire that next generation.
Right.
And
Right.
you know, that's why we do it. I mean, you see so much skill in what we're doing, and you see so much creativity in what we're doing. And I think that, you know, you guys, the kindness I see you guys have for one another, and the support that you guys have, whatever you do, however you ply your trade, and however you earn your income, we appreciate the value of your dollars and your support so that we can ply our trade. And our trade's single purpose is to bring something of beauty and aesthetics into your world,
Right.
so that it brightens your day. That's it. And I feel like it's a very noble thing to do, and I try to approach it with reverence. When I say it's noble, I mean in terms of I see it as something I have to live up to, and I have to appreciate the importance of it. And when you see a movie like Black Rain, that's what they're talking about the system of law and the role of law enforcement. It's something to strive for. And even when you fall short, you should remind yourself that, yes, indeed, you have fallen short, but you can get back on that path. You know, it doesn't mean you forget where the bar is. And that's what we're all doing.
Yep.
You know, that's what we're all doing here.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'll let that keep going. It's only, let's see, it's a little bit longer. Yeah, it's just a little bit more. But yeah, I thought you guys would enjoy seeing that play.
I like it.
But this is what I'm doing alone in my garage in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
See, in the garage. And my wife took my home office because COVID, the lockdowns. She works at home permanently.
Sure.
Because, yeah, I think her company realized why rent a big office when we could just have you work over the internet. So,
yeah. And thank you for that, Daniel Craig, for always the insight of the chat is always something that enriches us. And that's I appreciate the comment, and I will strive to live up to that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heavy, but I think it's true. You know, one of the things, right when I think it was the day before I was leaving DC Comics, like the day before I yelled on Ethan's show, I saw Robert Davi, the great actor, great singer. He's been in a lot of mob movies. He's that guy he has squinty eyes and a lot of acne scars. You know him if you've seen him. Great character actor. And he was talking about all the SJW stuff and all this stuff being ruined. And he had this thing. I read a tweet of his, how he said it was a shame that these leftists were destroying American myths and legends.
Yeah. And
I thought about that, American myths and legends. And I thought about what DC Comics and Tom Taylor were doing to Superman. And I'm like, I cannot be a part of this.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be a part of this. Is no, I can't be a part of this. But it was the way he said myths and legends. I was just like, right. That's what these things are. They matter too much. So yeah, there was no way. When you see this is the beginning of the movie where he picks him up, gives him a ride to the police station. Michael Douglas is going to have to go talk to Internal Affairs. Andy Garcia is off to wherever he's off to. And they're just having this fun conversation. Garcia's telling him to watch yourself with the investigators. And you see this brotherhood established. And the brotherhood of this movie is so loving and so cool. And Garcia's character, he has so much goodness in him. He's such a good man that it's aspirational. You know what I'm saying? You see him and you're like, I should be a good man. I should do things like that. I should be kind. I should pull someone on stage and make them do karaoke. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I pulled you onto YouTube, Sean, right? You have your own channel, but I said, come and do a show with me. And I barely knew you, but I knew what I knew about you, and I liked it. You know,
it was funny. You know, I tell people this too. We're all, of course, overnight successes. We've been over this 100 times. But you know, my YouTube channel, when I mention that to people, but when I joined CG or when I launched my CG book, let's say, because I've been in CG since 2018, I think maybe even whenever sooner, on the Fandom Menace side of things, interestingly enough, and Ethan was sort of my big, and my big entry into Comicsgate way back when. But my YouTube channel is I think 3-4 years old right now. And my Instagram has been going on for, I think, longer than that. And that's where I built my audience. That's what funded my 2 art books. And when this is the thing, Gabe, and it's a perfect thing to say, frankly, on this 1-year anniversary of me resigning from that world of security. world of the security that a lot of professors, including myself, strive for their entire careers, to be more than part-time and adjunct, to get health insurance, to get that security. That's a big thing for a lot of people. And this is the thing, man, that's really big for me. When I think about what has happened in this last year, but also since October with the launch of Nosfero, the richest thing for me has been something that I had been needing and wanting, which is real friends that I admire. My best friend will always be my wife. I will always have my close friends who aren't related to my particular profession. They work in animation, video concept design, and you have seen their work. But that's not what I was needing. I was needing fellow professionals that I could have these conversations about what we're doing, where we were kindred spirits and we push things forward. And it's a real blessing and a miracle. And I am so happy that I can count people like Von Klaus and Eric Weathers. I count Rob Arnold as a friend, even though he doesn't count me as one. I want to be very clear about that. And by the way, please, guys, Rob Arnold is not to 1,000 subscribers on his channel, and it is a crime. He does so much for this, guys. If we can drop some links for Rob Arnold's channel and get him to 1,000 subs, we got to make that happen. But this is the thing, right? Is that the people I am working with and I'm around right now are that brotherhood, are that fellowship that we celebrate in all these movies. And when I see people who are here and are committed to making this work happen, I am so grateful. So grateful for it, man. And that's what I'm celebrating on this anniversary more than anything.
Absolutely. And let's check that out one more time. Where did I stick it? Oh, it's back here. Nosfero, have we gained anything? Have we gained?
Let's see if we've gained something.
Let's see if we have. We have. If we haven't, oh well. But oh,
wow!
We gained 2 during the show. Look at
my
that.
Gosh! Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bless you.
Yeah. Let's get 4 more. Let's get to 430, guys. You could do that.
Thank you, guys.
Just a few bucks from 27. Just a few bucks
wild.
from 27. Yeah. And I've got good news here, Sean. Since Isom blew up, I've gained about 60 or so.
We're so close.
60 or so new backers, and we are so close to 70. And at 70,000, guys, that's when we get the print guaranteed. Everybody gets the print. So let me pull that out real quick. The print. Yeah. At 70,000, everyone's going to get Michael Douglas and Andy Garcia on a motorcycle. No.
That's right. We will have Michael Douglas and Andy Garcia show up on a motorcycle with a sidecar, and you will get in it, and it will be a joy. But they'll give you nice shoes.
This will be a 9x6 full color print, kind of like on postcard material. Everybody will get that when we make a few more bucks. So yeah, I think we've jumped about 5,000 in the last day. So
well deserved.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great. So yeah, if you haven't backed Truth Justice, you need to get on that. And if you're coming in late, should I show the page again that David Williams drew that he sent me?
Yes, please do.
Okay, but hold on. If you're coming in late,
there it is. No,
we added Andy Garcia and Michael Douglas to the story.
Yes.
If you want to look great, holy cow, guys! I'm going to order these.
Seriously,
probably order these next week or the week after because Comic-Con's next week.
Mm-hmm.
These shirts, they're so good. This is the final design on them. I'm so excited about this. And David Williams, he's back working hard. I will not show the whole page, but we'll show some of it. Hold on. I have it here.
Unless you show it by accident, which happens. These things happen.
There's a little bit of it here. Right. So this is in the mail on the way to Gary Martin to be inked up by the master himself. I'm not going to tell you this character's name, but I love his name. It came to me when I was weightlifting the name, actually. It just came to me, and I loved it so much. I'll get ideas, in the shower, in the car. And this idea, I just loved it for our opening scene with this villain. And classic superhero action is back, guys. David Williams, Gary Martin, and myself. So Truth Justice American Way. There's new pencils, new inks, new colors coming, gorgeous shirts, trading cards, prints. What's not to love, right?
Dale A's dropping a spoiler. He says the character's name is Philip. Right there he goes. No, that one's great too. But right above, Dale A has got a suggestion. The villain's ultimate name is Philip.
Right.
It's a surprise that it's not more grandiose, but I do like Cranberry Langer's Captain
Yarr.
Booty.
Truth,
Yeah,
justice, and American way drives me nuts.
Absolutely right.
As long as the name's not Captain Crunch.
Mm-hmm.
His name is not Captain Pronouns. Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we're very excited. So let's see. Guys, we got to get this thing to 70,000 so you can all get that print. We'll get there. We'll get there very soon. We'll get there.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to put you in timeout. We're going to have to put you in timeout, Simply Green. Knock it off.
Oh, jeez. Oh, the chat's got to hospitalize me just once a stream, man. Just once a stream. And I want to see the numbers on those shirts because I think that I love the Justice shirt, but I can see that one running away with it too. It's a tough call, man. It's a tough call.
Just for aesthetics, my favorite one is the Truth shirt.
Yes.
I think the combo here, the light purple, the dark purple, and the chest emblem is amazing. You know, I think that works really well. But I'm a big fan of this one too.
Yeah.
A big fan of that one. So I'm excited. And you guys did this. You did this by pledging money, believing in me, enthusiastically supporting me and Dave and Gary. And I am dragging David kicking and screaming onto YouTube. And people love him. People love him on YouTube. So there we go.
Oh, and good night, real Sean Crummell. And thank you for coming into the stream. We appreciate you.
Oh, yes. Good evening. Have a good night, friend. Right. Okay, so where were we, Sean?
Well, we were talking about with the movie or with Truth Justice?
Any of it. You know, we went over the movie.
So here's what I want to say. We are I don't know if any of you guys have seen this with the sequel to Tiger Blue. They were showing some sculpts for statues. When I look at Truth, Justice, American Way, the more I see the Rogues Gallery, and of course, when I see the characters, the more I want to see some of our skilled folks take their hands at putting this stuff into 3D. Malin has had some great, fan art, 3D art for Godlike. Some beautiful stuff has come out of that, and I am ready for some Truth, Justice 3D, 3D creation. Put it that way. Right. Well, I love this stuff, man.
I've already talked to two guys that are Hollywood veterans.
Yes.
I've already talked to them about little busts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
One guy's that artist I showed you, Jordu Shell.
Yes.
Yeah. He's one of the top Hollywood guys. And I got a quote from him to do the masters on bus, and it wasn't that bad. It was affordable. So I think in Truth, Justice 2, I might do some sort of 3D sculpture. You know what I mean? Might be a stretch goal if we get enough money.
I got to tell you this too, and I'd love to hear from the chat on this, because maybe I'm not in the majority of people with this, but I actually really like, if they're well done and well painted, I really enjoy PVCs and more stationary stuff. Like I love the posable stuff. I love what Patrick Thomas Parnell is doing. And I'm excited about the Cyberfrog action figures, but I also do like not giant, super expensive statues, but a slightly smaller scale. Do you know what I mean? Of something that you can put on your desk that's really solid and great. Like the smaller Batman black and white statues they did for a while, that kind of thing. But they even do smaller like PVC ones. I always love that stuff. Right. It's beautiful, but I'm curious what the chat likes, in terms of their interest in that stuff.
What is that guy's name? Like Eric Huffles or something like that?
Yes, Eric Huffles, yes.
And he does those they're like kind of like muscle
figures, yeah.
Yeah, those are interesting.
I forget what the Japanese name for them is. Someone's gonna get it for us in the chat. But Eric Huffles does some beautiful stuff, and he captures the likeness. Yeah, a lot of CGers are doing those minifigs. Yeah, absolutely.
Do people like those? Because I personally not interested in those, but if fans wanted them, I'd make them for them.
Well, it's because you have real muscles. Some of us had to collect muscles in a plastic form. This is what we had.
Right. Don't get me started talking about weightlifting and how much creatine I'm on right now. And because
oh my gosh, man. So yeah, I will tell you this too, man. It is what I really liked, because it just takes me back to the first licensed property from Ninja Turtles, which were these little lead minis that they did, miniatures. I loved was it Shadowpunk who did those? The Cyberfrog minis that were spray painted silver, were painted
no
chrome.
Idea about that.
Those are beautiful. I'm a huge fan of that guy's work. Love that guy's stuff.
Let me see.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, let's see here. I'm not interested in those little things either, and I did used to collect muscles when I was a kid. So Daniel Craig. Now, has anyone considered doing a background standee for figs? That's a great one. Mike, fan of Double Impact, says muscles. I'd rather have a highly posable, detailed $80 action figure.
Oh, you're telling who you're talking to. I would love
absolutely.
that too. And the designs for Truth, Justice, American Way, they just lend themselves to action figures so well. I mean, I haven't busted those out in a while. Is this that little lead Ninja Turtles you were talking about?
Mm-hmm. Let me see if I can find it here. Is that yes? Those are fabulously expensive if you can find them.
Wow.
And I have a set of them with the Ninja Turtles packaging. Right. But I got those when I was growing up in Tennessee, and that was the only thing you could get that was Ninja Turtles. The role-playing game. Yeah, those are pewter. Thank you. And I've always loved that kind of stuff. But then, it's like we talked about Warhammer minis. Can you imagine having some really well-done minis of your figures? That would be cool, man. Yeah.
But I mean, when you look at David Williams' designs, these are action figures, dude, for sure.
Oh, totally. Yes, they are.
I mean, are you kidding me? They're so like chunky a little bit, and I don't know. His abstract shapes are so good.
They're beautiful.
I think these would be just so. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get to action figures for these. Maybe in volume 2, maybe in volume 3. We'll see how this goes. But oh man, I would love to.
And you see the I've got the Johnny Phantasm. I've got 2 of the Johnny Phantasm figures. So there is no shortage of. Let me move my fat head out of the way so it can focus. There we go. There's no shortage of things we can do to make those. Even just like highly posable gets really expensive. But if you're like me and you remember those great early sort of Secret Wars figures, you can do some beautiful sculpting, way more sophisticated than that, but with limited posability. And those things can be great, man. Those things can be beautiful.
They absolutely beautiful. William 03.
Is it Way Lamb? I'm like wondering if I'm getting
it. Way Lamb.
I'm not sure. 03. Let us know in the chat.
He just supported both campaigns.
Oh my God, bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
How very kind and generous. Love it. Yeah, no one's having more fun than us. The fans and the creators. No one is having more fun. So there we go. I think they look great as busts too. Yeah, let me find Jordu's website. This guy, when I was in college, I worked at Distortions Unlimited. I did freelance artwork for them. And they are the biggest Halloween manufacturer in the world. If you go to a haunted house and there's like a pneumatic Frankenstein that pops out of a barrel, they made it in my hometown of Greeley, Colorado. Ed Edmonds, he graduated from my university. He's like 25 years older than me, but he's been making monster masks and all this Halloween stuff for years. And he knows Jordu because Jordu was a fan of his when Jordu was a kid. And then Jordu grew up to be a Hollywood makeup guy. And he hires Jordu to do special, limited, high quality Halloween masks and stuff like that. But Jordu, his let's see. I mean, look at this Grand Moff Tarkin.
Wow.
And he paints these too. And he does these monsters. They're insane,
Dude, that is crazy.
Yeah, so I want to hire Jordu. He quoted me, and his price is reasonable enough.
Mm-hmm.
But he's so good. Let me find some of his space aliens. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Check this out.
Dang.
And that's a maquette, so that's tiny. Let's find some of the big masks. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Creature design for film. Let's see. Masks. Here it is. Yes, these are Jordu's masks.
Dang.
Look at this stuff. Right? He's so good. His website can be designed a little bit better, so I don't have to reload it every time. But yeah, these are rubber Halloween masks that you can buy. Imagine having one this good. So this is the guy I want to hire to do the Truth, Justice busts. And I already talked to him, and he knows me because we worked for the same guy in the past and all that. But he is just, he's so good.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, and I will tell you this, and hopefully, Way, we've got your name somewhat right. We apologize if we are getting it completely wrong, but of course, I would love to do a cover for Eric July, and I'm at a no commissions point right now, except for, occasionally a friend will contact me, but and I'll find a way to fit it into a schedule because I'm all full up. But I would absolutely love to do that because I'm a big fan of Eric July, great, artist, creative, and I just like where his head's at. That's the best part of it. So absolutely. Right. Look at that. Oh my gosh, man.
I think I saw this guy.
So
I saw this guy at the Walmart.
That's pretty much what I look like at 2 a.m. If you've seen those streams. Yeah. I love the Frankenstein, by the way. I love things like that. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
He's insanely good. So I talked to him in a private message and he quoted me a decent price. So look how scary this is.
Yep.
Yeah. So Jordu, when we have some truth justice sculpture, I want him to be the guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, guys, this is the thing I loved so much about the whole, the whole aspect of what we do here. And let me see if I can share this real quick here. Where is it? Because Jeremy Lord Crackhead 33 told me one time about this, and I forgot to show it because and actually, hang on a second. I just realized something. Oh no, I'm good. Never mind. Let me close this out. When you go on Twitter and you've got your messages up, you're always like, oh, okay, I got to make sure I don't do that. So let's see if this comes up here. Yeah, there we go. This right here, if this will work, I don't know if you can share that, but this is a sculpt that was done here by Shadow Punk, of course, and this is for John Malin's character for an idea for a 3D fig. And there's something really great about thinking about that as a mini or a small sculpt. Just incredible stuff. That's the talent we've got. Oh, I think you're muted, Gabe. I can't hear you.
Sorry, I opened a website.
Oh, no, it's fine.
I needed, yeah.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
That's insanely good.
Isn't that beautiful? I mean, guys, we have got so much talent. We've got talent to beat the band in this thing. It is just, I'm inspired every day when I wake up and I see artwork. When I'm seeing, David Williams pencils on Truth, Justice, American Way. When I'm seeing the B-Flaw stuff that Gabe is doing.
Oh, yeah.
I even did a Slim Jim-esque logo for it in my enthusiasm because I just love the fact that I'm around real artists doing things.
Right.
Pardon my French, but we don't talk shit, we do shit here.
That's right.
That's the biggest thing about it.
Right.
We get moving. We get moving, we get grooving, and we make it happen. Yeah. I agree. Gosh, yeah.
The Hound Fantomas, right?
Yeah, I ordered a pit bull miniature. I don't know if you can see this on Etsy, a 3D model. Let me see if I can get that to focus. Move it back a bit. Put my hand behind it. But I got a little 3D model.
There you go.
That I'm using for reference for Fantomas. But I would love to get an actual, more caricatured as he is, Fantomas figurine made for sure.
Okay.
That's the stuff I'd love to do.
Very cool. Let me grab something. Since you mentioned T-Law. Hold on.
Stephen Rockwood, you just killed me. It may be. It may be a euphemism. You never know. You don't know.
Right. Yeah, since you mentioned Beeflaw.
That's right. Of course.
And Teflon Ron mentioned Beeflaw. And then David Brohawk Williams. That's right. He's here.
Hail, King David.
David, I'm going to show everyone this page, and there's nothing you can do. I'm going to show them. Hold on. Where is it? Oh, yeah, add to stream. See, Dave?
Yeah.
What are you going to do about that? You can't stop me.
There's a knock at the door.
Dave doesn't want any of me. Dave's tough, but I'm tougher.
That's right.
Dave's old, too. If I fought Dave, it would be elder abuse. So I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it, Dave. I'm not like that.
I think the only person who's legitimately responsible for abuse is, of course, Gary Martin and his pranks. But that's just me, and you got to share this real quick, this window for me. Sure. This is what happens when you befriend lunatics. They send you things like this, especially if those lunatics are not afraid to snap into a Slim Jim.
That's right.
I had to. Oh yeah, we got to get that video, man. So right. Yeah, I threw this together because I needed to share some enthusiasm with my brother. And I have to say this, guys. I want to make sure that you know, and please feel free to do this, because they say Jordan Peterson once said that the most important things friends can help you do is to celebrate your accomplishments. And I would love to congratulate my brother Gabe on his work for Eric July and the massive, massive success of this crowdfunding campaign, which is going to beat Keanu Reeves, a movie star of decades, one of the most bankable movie stars in the world's crowdfunding campaign. It is going to smash that campaign. And so, yes, congratulations to my brother Gabe, and please pass along your congrats in the chat here.
For sure.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, man.
And I'm working on a project right now. David Williams knows what it is, and if you knew if you knew what I was doing, Sean, I'll tell you after the show. Unbelievable. But I'm also working on Beef Law, and you know, here's page 1.
Beautiful.
Here's page 2. It's coming, guys. We got fights down by the docks, Chinese mafia. We've got a spin kick launching Chong Chi Hua into orbit. He no longer has teeth or a nasal cavity.
That's right.
And then when I get a little, I'm using Zipatone. You see the gray there? That's actual Zipatone film onto the page. And I use like a sanding block to fade it out over here, like a drywall sanding block. So he stands over his opponent, defeating him. So this is so much fun. Martial arts. And then I'll take breaks, and I'll do pinups of the characters. So I'm going to do pinups of like the main dozen or so characters. That's Nina. She's the main character's girlfriend. This is Sergey. Hold on. What am I doing here like this? Sergey, he's Russian mafia.
Yes.
Gave him some look at that tattoo, too.
That's a beautiful job, man. That looks great.
Thank you. Yeah, this is Sergey here. And then this, I'm not going to say who this is. It's Busty Gal coming out of a pool. We don't need to worry about that. Yeah, a little bit of secret stuff. But yeah.
Sorry, I blanked out for a minute. What were you saying?
I don't know. But yeah, I'm having a ton of fun on this stuff here. So yeah. It's Beef Law is going well, but I'm working on something else right now for a couple weeks actually. That is when you hear it after the show. Holy cow! So,
I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Yeah. Are you talking about those? What are we talking about here?
Oh, we're talking about making a 3D printer file of your character so that those people with 3D printers can print it out and customize. They said they'd love to see that as well, man. Because, and I understand that, guys. I'm the same way with a lot of this stuff. There's nothing we can't do. It's just a question of putting the talent together and having there be the funding. That's what it is, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we've got our part. We've got the talent. We just need the funding, and that's all, you know?
I feel like we're quoting Ghostbusters right now. We've got the tools, and we got the talent. It's Miller time.
Right. Kirby Langers dropped his jaw on the ground. What'd you say, Gabe? I said a lot of things. I'm not sure what you're referring to.
It's that pinup you did, man. You were showing that page. Beautiful lady. That's what it is.
I'm having fun. Fun, and that's what I want to draw. I think in art, I don't necessarily want to think, well, what does the audience want? I mean, I have that in mind, but it's like the Venn diagram of what do they want and what do I love making? Yes. You know what I mean? And I need it to be both because I need to be having fun while I'm doing it. I don't want it to feel like I'm just trudging along and I don't want it to feel like I'm getting through it. You know,
just to repeat what Gabe said, it's what does he want and then love making.
Yes.
Those were the things that he was, you know what? I may have misattributed that. But yes, actually that should be my female villain, misattributed. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Oni, I think that I'll put more tattoos on him because I put like 3. I put like a knife on him, that Tiger Brigade and the airborne thing. I'm like, he doesn't have enough, but I want to pick them wisely. I don't want to just Google them and then add them and Google them and add them. So I quit working on that because I'm working on something else that you guys won't believe. It's as big as it gets. It's insane, this guy that approached me. So I got to do that for like 3 weeks, and then I'll go back to Beef Law. So, and in the meantime, I'm waiting to get some inks from Gary and Dave on Truth Justice so I can color some more of that. So I've got all
love Gary.
And
Can't wait to see him.
Yeah, and I think Eric July will reveal the cover I did, the cover C. I did that yesterday and sent it to him. So he didn't get back to me because he's like super busy. He just said thank you, and then I haven't heard from him since. Yeah. Poor Eric, you know what it's like the day you launch a project, man. You know what it's like. So I can only imagine he didn't just launch an Indiegogo. He created a website, a new company, and launched a book. So I bet he hasn't slept in 2 days. So
yeah.
yeah.
And the adrenaline, man. You could just see, he's gonna and I've heard a rumor he sleeps. I don't know if it's true, but he's gonna hit a point where I think he's gonna pass out from just enduring the excitement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like because the excitement has got to be through the roof right now. I mean,
Right.
he's changing things. And it's so funny because we are going to find, different platforms, as some of you guys have said, like Reddit, that are going to think it is a hate crime to allow an artist, independently funded artist, to share their work and their success on their platform. But that doesn't matter because that is the road to their platforms dying. And we're just going to find the places where we can get together and have honest debate, honest discussion. And frankly, how about this? Let's take debate out of it, because that's all these people want to do is debate constantly. Honest expressions of enthusiasm and support. Who knew?
Right.
What an amazing thing.
Right. And someone said in the chat, the C covers up. There it is. Let me see if I can find the big file. Yeah. Let me see if I can find the big file. Let me see. Is
it? Can you see it?
It's right there on the screen in front of you.
Oh, nice.
It's tiny. It's on the right there. It says 35 under it. I'm opening it on my computer in Photoshop. So hold on.
Right on.
So since he already put it out in public, I can show you guys big. So Cliff Richards. So the night before the launch, Eric July calls me up, and although I couldn't see him, I'm certain he was sweating. Because he was just like, hey, okay, Gabe, I think I underestimated sales, and I think we're going to need another cover because we're going to sell out of the first cover. He's like, can you color a cover for me on Monday morning or Monday or whatever, whenever I did. I don't even remember when I did it. But I'm like, yeah, sure, dude. I could do anything, whatever. Just give me the art, and I'll have it done the next day. So he sent it over, and here she is. So you have your main character, Isom, and I banged it out, and it came out gorgeous,
dude.
Yeah, and I recorded the whole thing coloring this.
Oh, dude, that is so great.
Yeah. Hold on. Trying to grab the corner here in the okay, there we go. Yeah. So
show some love for cover C, people. Show some love for cover C.
So Cliff will send me this. Cliff will send me this file. Then Jose, my assistant, will flat it. So that means Jose will send me this. It'll be the cover, and then hold on. And then something like this. I'm trying to open the thing in Photoshop to adjust it. Oh my God, it doesn't matter. He'll send me this, but there won't be these colors. It'll be like random colors to separate it. Then I'll fill in these proper colors, and then I'll come in and paint it and render it. And that's like this layer here. So let's move the line art. So
we hear you, Luke, and we're hollering.
Yeah. What did Luke say? I'm sorry.
Holler if you hear me. And we're saying holla, Luke.
That's right. Yeah. Who drew cover C? Cliff Richards drew cover C.
Oh, yeah, dude, look at that without the lines, man. Holy cow.
Right. Thank you. And then
you can see that painting background. That study of painting. Beautiful.
Right, absolutely. So yeah, so that's these are the different layers in Photoshop. You know what I mean? So then and you'll notice there's just a subtle adjustment layers to unify the color. And one thing I do whenever I work is I will, as I'm coloring, I will always have this layer on top of the whole thing. And the reason you do this, guys, if you want to know how to color, turn on black and white in Photoshop. It's an adjustment layer, and turn it off and on as you work. And then you'll see if your forms are correct. The most important thing about color for composition is not the colors you pick, but their relative value to each other. That's what's going to do it. The colors are very important, the ones you pick, for mood and focus and all that. But to get your composition, it's the black and whiteness of it that matters. If stuff isn't popping in black and white, it's also not popping in color, even if you think it is. So, right, Shant? I mean, you paint.
No, when I'm looking at my painting before and I'm giving them the right on. Seriously, Chad, you're absolutely right. When I'm looking at my work, I'll take out my iPhone, take a photo of it, and then move it to black and white. You know, or I'll just switch my camera to black and white and look through it just to see where the values are, because value is the majority of the battle you have with color. And then it's just really bringing that beautiful, vivid quality. I mean, you guys are seeing this is the thing that is interesting, right? When Image Comics formed, there were there were people who laid the groundwork for what coloring would be at Image Comics. There were, artists who were rock star artists. But what's interesting to me about what Eric has done, and something I'm very proud about what's going on in this indie scene, is that there are artists who are becoming famous and becoming stars based on the work that they are doing on the indie scene. These are all people who are very, very skilled, but there's this special connection when you see people working on indie properties where they have the freedom to really be as excellent as possible. Yeah, Drew Struzan, I watched that How to Paint video. I have that all the time where he paints the entire Hellboy poster, and I'll tell you, it's beautiful to watch Drew Struzan work. Oh, you're muted, Gabe. You're muted.
Sorry. That's an amazing video, the Hellboy video with Drew Struzan.
Yes.
To prove to you guys that value is what really matters in an image, I'm going to do this. Okay, I'll take the black and white off, and I'm going to open the color slider in, or not that. I'll open the hue saturation slider in Photoshop. That's this thing here. So if you grab this top arrow and you slide it, you can change I'll make it global. Hold on. I'll make an adjustment layer on top. So go here, hue saturation. So now this will affect the entire image. So when I slide this thing, we just slide it through the rainbow, right? So I'm going to go back. I'll go back to 0, and then I'm going to turn on black and white mode, and I'm going to slide this and watch what happens. Nothing happens. But if I take off the black and white and leave it in this weird slidden part here, right? So what I'm pointing out to you is the color doesn't matter as much as the value. Even though this color here doesn't make sense, can you read it? You can read the image. And that's why value is the more important part of color, is you have to be able to read the image. That's the first thing your brain needs. It doesn't need the colors to be correct. You just have to be able to read the image. Then get the colors correct afterwards. So, right. So,
yeah, it's beautiful, Gabe. No, I just was going to say it's such beautiful work. And I think that, Comicsgate is so filled with passion and excellence, and so is the indie scene. And hail, Dan Lawless. It's great to see you. I will tell you, someone else I'd love to see do a pinup of one of your characters, Gabe, is of course Dan Lawless. But I will say this, man, is that it is wind in your sails when you have got a passionate fan base, a passionate backer base, and you're working with fellow passionate creators who most of the conversations we have, quote, behind the scenes are about how do we deliver excellence. That's it. And it's never about should we or shouldn't we. It's about, what do you guys think of this? How could I make this better? What should I do here? And it's all supportive, and it's all it's a great place. Frankly, this is the most fun I've had since the early days of my comic collecting. Right. And going to the local comic shop. This is the convention scene of our day, and these are the comic shops of our day. Right. You could never say here's the thing about buying comic books that makes Comicsgate different with backing comic books. You could say I bought Spider-Man #1, but you can't say that I was purchaser or backer number 128 on that book.
Right.
This is something I love about CG, is that we get to know our backer numbers, and people shout that out in the chat. I'm backer number this. I'm backer number that. Right. And I love it, man. It's and I love doing it myself when I'm backing books, and whether it's Tiger Blue, or it's Clint Stoker's Dracula, or it's Cyberfrog, or it's Godlike, or it's Truth, Justice, American Way, whether it's Terror in the Trenches. There's so many great books that are out, and I love to share what backer number I am. Two-Fisted Manly Tales. I mean, I could just go on, and if I'm missing any game, I'm missing some for sure. Feel free to throw your own. Oh God, First Man with Andy Smith, all of that stuff, man. I love it.
Right. Yeah. So if you guys haven't checked out Isom, if you haven't checked out Nosfero, if you haven't checked out Truth, Justice, get them today, guys. This is how we fight back. This is how we win. Instead of raging out and going crazy, right? And I'm guilty of that in the past. We turn that energy.
I've never raged out in my life, Gabe. No, go. Just kidding. Go ahead. Right. Yeah, I'm a parent.
Right. Yeah.
I've been on a car trip.
Right. Yeah.
Groken. Thank you, Tom.
I think, Angela, you speak to something deep here. Yeah, CG is a wall of talent, because the kind of people that would walk away from cushy jobs at the university where Shanth worked, It was guaranteed safety to just stay there. I had guaranteed safety to just stay at Warner Brothers and make their horrible crap with them. But the kind of people that have the character to walk away from that, we also have the character to work hard to make ourselves excellent artists. We care. We're not just, it isn't an afterthought to me. Art is holy. I say it all the time. Art is actually a holy endeavor. And I don't say it to be pretentious. I say it to be humble. Like, I have a responsibility to not dishonor art. And it's so great we reviewed Black Rain tonight, because what did Massa tell Michael Douglas's character? When you do that cheap stuff where you're stealing money from the drug dealers and all this dirty cop stuff, you don't dishonor yourself only, you dishonor me, your fellow cop, your partner Charlie. The whole idea of being a cop, you dishonor all of it. So if I destroy Superman, I don't just dishonor me, I dishonor my grandfather, my father. I dishonor all the men I've ever met in comics that have built this, or the men and women that built this industry. I dishonor the fans. I dishonor America and our culture, because comic books are an American art form.
It is true.
I don't want to dishonor all that. It means too much to me. There's no way. So thank you.
And yeah, it's for me, you know, the big thing about it is that I have benefited my entire life from the pillars of Western civilization that reached this incredible point in America where you have civil rights. And Chad, I read that, Chad Townsend, I quit Disney Animation a few weeks ago to BCG, and we appreciate that.
Wow. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, welcome aboard. And I will say this, that it is a scary move into the unknown, but I will never forget what Ethan says. And is certainly nowhere in the same position as him and the career and those kinds of things. But when he said, I'm going to just, it's like a trust fall, I'm just going to fall and I'm going to hope the fans catch me. Yeah. And when I think about the way that has built out from here, and Eric July, who has really, the thing that's inspired me the most about Eric this week is, in many ways, his message has been one about uniting the people that he refers to as in our space, which is to say the people who are, we have our disagreements, we have our things that frustrate us from time to time, but at the end of the day, we all know where we stand on this stuff. Right. We're trying to make a positive change, and there's nothing better than knowing that you are in the fight with other good people who value liberty. Thank you, John. Absolutely. And everything I do is made with liberty in the USA. Right. And I waved that flag and said that to my students all of the time. And it's an important thing. And I think sometimes the most important thing we can do, because someone did ask me this on Ethan's stream the other day, why not stick around and try to fight these kinds of things? And I thought about it and I said, well, that is essentially what I did from day one for 18 years. And what I realized was that what you're essentially doing by being effective in those groups is you are feeding them with the money and the students you bring in, trying to learn from you, who then are hit with a tsunami of these ideas. Right. And I didn't want to be the, what is it called? The, what they refer to when you do good special effects on a bad movie, gilding a turd. I did not want to be the gilding on a turd as a career. That's beautiful, Gabe. Can we zoom in on that a little bit? Oh, yeah. My goodness. Look at those colors, guys.
This is that thing I was playing sped up earlier, remember?
Yeah.
I was playing the video of this earlier.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I learned, I'm self-taught as a colorist. And then I went to Wildstorm for 3 years, and they tuned up my Photoshop technique. Mm-hmm. But I was talking to Sean 2 weeks ago on the show, and I had a mystery. My whole life as a comic book artist, I don't know why, when I started coloring, I was instantly good, like really good, and it violates everything I believe about achievement, that no, anyone can be good if you practice for years. And I could color comics, guys, instantly. I was professional. I got a job coloring comics, a small book, like on my first sample. And I did some stuff at Image, like within weeks of trying out coloring. And I've wondered, and this is like 2003, and I've wondered, I guess 20 years now, why was I just good at coloring, like masterful? Then I realized, no, I practiced coloring for years. Remember, Sean?
Mm-hmm.
I told you what happened. And it was like those stupid little Warhammer tabletop, those little figures, like orcs and Marines. I painted those for years as a child. I'm like, of course I have a color sense. Of course I understand modeling and shading and highlighting. Of course. But it came to me like a bolt from the blue when I was talking to you 2 weeks ago. Like, I don't know why. I just get color. And it's like, oh, that's what it was.
And
it was
to
just
be
a
clear,
fun moment to realize that suddenly.
Well, we have all these realizations, we have conversations, and to be clear, when Gabe says, he was painting these stupid little Warhammer miniatures, you need to understand that we're not the kinds of guys who, when we get off a stream, we go look at 1/18th scale painted Warhammer miniatures on Big Bad Toy Store. Okay, we got too much class for that.
Right.
All right, we haven't. Okay, fine, we did, and we love that stuff.
Yeah,
Fine.
I loved it. Yeah, Warhammer.
We love that stuff, man.
And to this day, I absolutely love Warhammer. I mean, who doesn't love the aesthetic? You have Space Marines. I painted so many of these stupid little things as a kid, and I would buy the books that went into color theory a little bit. And they would talk to you about putting a wash to add shadows and dry brushing to add highlights.
Yes.
And you put red and green. Well, those are opposites, so it's going to pop more and blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, I had years of color theory of education, epistemological, but also technical by actually doing it. So that was a really fun thing to just realize, because I have wondered forever why I'm so good at it without ever practicing it. I just picked up Photoshop and I could do it. And I was like, how do I know how to do this? It felt so weird for so many years that I didn't know how I knew how to do this. So, yeah.
Well, what's funny is that a lot of times, a lot of the artists I know and that I'm proud to be working with in CG. Again, I brought up Eric Weathers. I could bring up any number of people. Dan Lawless in the chat also comes to mind. People are very humble, and they have a very hard time looking back at their own biography for how they got there. You know what I mean? Like I was talking about you on another stream about how, you've been working since you were 11 years old or something like that. Yeah. I can't remember.
Right. I've had a job since I was 12. So
yeah, you've had a job since you were 12.
I'm going to be 44 next Sunday. So
there you go.
Yeah.
And by the way, happy birthday early. And I'm sure I'll wish you happy birthday.
My wife is going to be 21.
Absolutely. That's right. Yep.
She's going to be 21 a few days before. Her birthday is 3 days before mine.
Finally legal to drink.
Right. But check this out. My best friend is the day before me. I've known him since 4th grade. His brother was 2 days ago. His cousin was July 4th. My cousin is the 16th. My new best friend, Dean Kane, is the day before me. My first girlfriend was 2 days before me. So July is birthday month for me. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah. And it's that's the thing that when I look at this stuff, there you go. Wax on, wax off.
It was. As funny as that is, it was. I was painting Warhammer miniatures, and that's where I learned to color. And I didn't know it until 2 weeks ago, because I haven't colored a Warhammer miniature in 15, 20 years. Yeah. I did it as a teenager, and that was about it. I did it for like 6, 7 years as a teen. So, yeah. So, man.
Barn burner.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We've been going for over 2 hours. I love Black Rain. I hope I did it justice, guys. Andy Garcia, it's heartbreaking what happens to him in that. Even though I've spoiled it for you, still love it. It's
not going to make it any easier.
You can watch it. You can watch it with kids, probably middle schoolers. They say the F word, and people get shot and stabbed, but there's no sex scenes that I can remember. So you could probably watch it with middle schoolers, high schoolers, depending on your home, how you run it. And I love it. It's a good movie about brotherhood and overcoming one's self. And if he's still watching, and I don't know if he is, but to give credit to the great David Williams, he and I we talk for hours on the phone. And he reins me in, because as you guys know, I'm bold. God gave me a gift. I'm fearless. I'll talk to anyone about anything. I'll say anything. And I've used it for evil, sometimes to attack SJWs, F you. And David talked to me about it. Like, we got to be a better example. We can't go down to their level, even if we're right. And that's such a hard pill to swallow, because righteous anger, it's righteous, right? And he's like, you have this ability that you're not shy. You don't have stage fright. You'll say anything. And I thought, why don't I use it to say things that are also hard to say, like I love you, like I'm sorry, like I forgive you. Use that boldness to lift people up and tell them the truth about good things, instead of saying, oh, F you, you SJW. And I'm going to slip up. I'm going to slip up again. Sure. But I want to be like Michael Douglas in that movie, where he was a raging bull and he learned, you know what? No, it isn't different when it's me. I don't just get to do whatever I want because I'm righteous. That's not how it works. So I'm happy to know guys like Shanth and David, because you've talked to me about it too, Shanth, about being more measured.
These are the
being
lessons.
More kind and more thoughtful.
These are the lessons, though, Gabe, that we have been learning from our movies and our entertainment, and so much of the entertainment that we're lifting up here on this show, right? John McClane, when he says, if I don't make it out of here, you got to find my wife. Tell her I've told her I love you 1,000 times, but I never said I was sorry. And I wanted you to tell her that for me, Al. I want you to tell her John said he was sorry.
Right.
And then his friend says, you're going to tell her that yourself, and we're going to get you out of there. And we're going to, and these are the things that people don't realize. And this hit me very hard, because in Black Rain, when he has the man brutally murdered his partner, and he could kill him in that moment.
Oh yeah,
and he's like, I'm gonna bring you in for justice. And it's very similar to another movie, RoboCop, where he says to him, he goes, OCP runs the cop, you're a cop, and he's choking Clarence Boddicker, and he's like, you're right, I'm a cop. And then he brings him into the station,
right,
and says, book him. These are those moments of they are moments in a strange way of another kind of confrontation battle, and that is the battle within ourselves.
Oh yeah,
and the battle to do what's right. And it takes, as you've often said, it takes a very strong person, strong man, strong woman to make that stand. And and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and credit to you, and then again to David Williams, and even Dan Lawless. We talked after my show last night. There he is in the chat. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I went 3 hours on Players Club, and I signed off and said bye to the chat, and Dan Lawless literally popped in 10 seconds after the show ended.
Yeah. So we love Dan.
Yeah, Dan slept through the show last night, so shame on you, Dan. But Dan, Aaron Lopresti, Gary Martin, David, and myself, we talked for like an hour and a half afterwards, and part of the theme was being judgmental, being like rabid and wrathful and fierce, and I felt very convicted. Like, yeah, man, you are a tough guy, but you got to show restraint. You can't just be a bull in the china shop. There's a time and a place, but not everything needs immediate, smashing everything and going psycho. You don't use that boldness to say things that are better, to say things that are going to win people over, and not just humiliate them and crush their spirit. Because there is, you don't think that I don't want to screenshot this. Hold on. You don't think I want to send a screenshot of this number right here and send it to Jim Lee? I have his phone. I could text it to him right now. Say, ha, ha, ha. You don't think I want to do that to Tom Taylor and everyone at DC that I argued with when I left? But I can't do that. That is so ugly and it's low class.
You know what's amazing, though? You've
can't
come
do
up
that
with
to them. That's wrong.
You've come up with a great adjective, and I want you to hold on to it. You show your boldness in your art, in your color. That is the ultimate manifestation of your boldness. When you were showing us the sliders and changing the color and the hue on all of those, and then taking away that, your work is bold. And I really do think we show our boldness through actions and through passion. And I have no doubt that if somebody was in physical peril, that you would be there to stand up for them and protect them. It's the same way I am about things, and I've done it. I even talked about it on a stream the other day that I had a teacher who had a fellow faculty member who had done some really backhanded stuff to me and found herself in the middle of what almost became a fist fight. And I put myself in the middle of it and calmed the situation down like an adult. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm never afraid to stand up for that kind of crap. And we both are like that. But yes, we will win, and we're going to do it because we are better and more disciplined to these values than they are, and to our craft.
Right.
And we have the best backers in the world.
And that's what you've told me, and Dave told me, and Dan Lawless, we were talking about it last night, that if I attack a SJW and cuss them out on Twitter and do all this stuff, well, how do I want them to change and stop doing the evil they're doing if I meet them F word for F word? What is the difference?
Yes.
What is the difference now if I'm just insulting them, humiliating? Like, there's a playful way to tease them, more like the Babylon Bee or the Onion, like that. You can kind of rib them and make a point. But when you start getting brutal and just swear words and like getting really personal, they won't listen. And they'll just see you being a monster, and you are. So that's something I've had to talk to myself about. But again, since I am bold, I'm bold with myself. I say, hey, Gabe, that isn't right. You shouldn't do that, man. You
Yes.
shouldn't do that. So I can tell myself that, and I can tell myself this. Hold on. When I do that, it's wrong. No excuses. No, well, they made me mad or I was in a bad mood. It's just wrong. And I'm sorry. And that's it. That's how I feel about it. And I'll do my best not to be that guy, not to be a psycho like that, because it's easy for me. You know, it's very easy to trash people like that. I'm a quick thinker. I can insult people I have a quick wit. Yeah. And you shouldn't use a gift of a quick wit that God gives you for evil. To like, even if someone did something wrong, really, you're going to humiliate their whole life. There's a better way. There's a better way.
Unless you're in the chat, again, you know, God bless them, they do use their quick wit for evil sometimes, but it's all in love. But I will say this, John, I can't believe you remember that story. The little drummer boy story post 9/11.
What is this? What is this?
I was at a gas station that's not more than 5 blocks from my house. It is literally right up the way.
Okay.
And and it was right around the holidays, and I had my son in the car. He was a little kid. He was still in a car seat, and a gentleman was pumping gas, and you know, his car's facing this direction, my car's facing the opposite direction. He's pumping gas. He's turned around. He's got his shades on. He's looking at me, and at first I noticed someone's whistling Little Drummer Boy. Then I turn around, and the guy is staring me down, whistling Little Drummer Boy, and he keeps whistling it, and I'm, you know, you're pumping gas, and I mean, I've been in situations, so it doesn't like freak me out, but I got a kid in the car, you know, right. And I'm like going, you know, you think differently, but I turn around and I look at him and I'm like, is he really staring at me? And he is staring me down. So I turn and I don't know what happened in that guy's day that day or what that was about, but he's staring me down and he keeps whistling. It's like, but like staring at me as he's doing it. Head's not moving, nothing, looking right at me. And I turn around and I return his stare, and he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and I go, "Is that Little Drummer Boy?" And he kind of flushed, embarrassed, posture. He goes, "Yeah, it's Little Drummer Boy." I was like, "Oh my God, man! I thought that's what it was. That's my favorite Christmas song. I love that. I used to play that when I was a kid." And he's totally like bewildered. And I went over and I was like, "Hey, man, Merry Christmas. My name's Jonathan Jetty. It's great to meet you." And he shook my hand. I said, "Yeah, my wife teaches up at the high school. And have a Merry Christmas, man." And it totally diffused the situation. But I got to tell you, I got in the car. I was also, let me be clear, I was ready to throw if shit kicked off. But I got in the car and I was like,
why do you think we wear these headbands? Come on.
Exactly. I looked in the rearview mirror and saw my son, who was probably had his hand in his mouth covered in drool. And I turned around and I looked in the rearview mirror at him, looked out the front windshield, and I went, that was nuts. And then I just drove home. And sometimes that's making the stand. You know what I mean? Not fighting to prove that you're what people think you are, but telling them who you are in a way that, and it's a confrontation, man. When you return somebody's stare and they're there, it was so weird, man. But it's not the first or the last time. It was these are the things that happen. Yes, if it sounds odd to you, believe me, it was odd to me. Because at first, you know, if you're like me, you don't assume these things are happening. But then you start realizing he's having to turn his body around to face me. There was no one else there either. I kept looking for things he could be looking at, and then I went, "This is ridiculous." You know, it was hilarious,
it's a brilliant way to disarm it.
You have
that is literally what turn the other cheek means. It doesn't mean to let them destroy you, kill you, rob you. It means to smartly resist, because I'm Middle Eastern, and in Semitic culture, the left hand, it's the forbidden hand, it's the unclean hand. And the Bible says if someone smacks you on the right cheek, offer them your left. Now let's think about the physics here. If I slap you on your right cheek, I have to use my hand I'm allowed to use in public. If I do that to you and you say, "Fine, hit this one," now I have to use this hand, which I am not allowed to use in public. So what you're doing when you turn the other cheek is you're saying, go ahead and show everyone you have no control over yourself.
Yes.
It's not laying down to die. You know what I mean? What it's doing is the smart way, instead of being a bull in a china shop and destroying yourself along with your enemy. So brilliant. Good work, buddy. Good work.
No, but you know, I'll tell you this, guys. I thought to myself, and this is the interesting part. It's the same thing when I painted that soldier, First Sergeant Andrew McKenna, God rest him. The thing about it was, when our town lined the streets for his burial, we were representing our town together. And as a member of our town, I don't know if this person's from my town. I don't know what his issue is or if he's passing through, but I'm representing my town and I'm representing my country. And, to have somebody whistling, the question I found, the thing I found myself thinking when I heard him whistling that song and I got the sense of the tension of the situation was, I say it is my favorite song, interestingly enough. But then the question became, did I listen to the song and the teachings it represents? Maybe I should let them guide my next actions. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's one of those things, and that's what I love, man. That's what I love about this stuff. And look at the people think that, integrity matters to you guys, and you guys matter to us, and I know integrity matters to you. So I want to say, this too, which is important. Angela Curry, we hope you feel better. We hope that everyone in your home recovers quickly. And we absolutely will say prayers for you. And I want to thank everybody in the chat, all of you crazy usual suspects, you people who get the word out about our books, who help us to pick up more backers and back us on this on this field of creative battle that we're on right now to show that integrity, work ethic, and discipline means something.
Right.
And it does.
Okay, guys, we're going to take one last look at everything, and then we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Rain is fantastic. Let me add their screen right here. Rippaverse, we're setting records, guys. We're near $1.5 million in sales. Wow, thank you. Couldn't have done it without you guys. Cover A is available. Cover B, these are all colored by me. Drawn by Terion is the name signed on here, but there are rumors that it's someone else.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to burp my dinner. And Cliff Richards, cover B with the amazing Yara and Isom there. And then C, I just colored this one up. So check that out. Truth, Justice, America Way, back at tonight, guys. The shirts are here. The trading cards are done. They're amazing. If we get to 70,000, we're going to give you guys that print. Where's that print? Right here. And then also, it's being drawn, guys. I'm trying not to show the whole thing. It's being drawn, and it looks amazing. It's what they say on Seinfeld. It's real, and it's spectacular, right?
Mm-hmm.
So David Williams is doing the work of his career. He called Gary Martin and said, Gary, I think I put a little bit too much into this. So this is a double-page spread of some insane idea that I came up with that David loved of this villain here. And the thing that he's writing, you're going to love it. It's, oh my gosh. Some of the humor I go for is honestly like Mad Magazine. I go for some really wacky stuff. So the link for Truth, Justice, America Way, I need you guys all to support it. If you haven't bought it, or if you want a second cover or a third, go get it right now. We're almost to 70,000. I can smell it. I hope that's what I'm smelling, but I think I can smell 70,000.
Right on.
And then, my friend, did we move the needle anymore? Because I wanted to get us to, what was the number I wanted?
I can't remember, but you've certainly moved the needle during this stream, man.
Right. So Nosfero, right now, 426. Let me refresh. And did we move it all? Oh, we got another one, 427.
427, guys. We're 50 away from 27,000, guys.
Oh, $50.
Thank you, Gabe. Thank you, Chad. Hail.
Listen, Shant has the football, and I'm pushing on his back. I'm the fullback. He's the running back. You guys come. Shove us in the back. Shove us over that touchdown line. Come on. $50, and he's into 27.
You heard us, what Gabe said. I'm the football. He's got me tucked under his arm, and he's running me.
I got you like a little baby right here. The crook.
That's exactly right. I'm balled up. I have a fist out, and that's just the way it is.
Touchdown, San Diego.
That's right.
We don't have a football team anymore. They went to Los Angeles. And then let's see, Truth, Justice. Did we move it all during the show? 69,022. Let's see. Oh, 69,067. Wow, 1,079 backers. So we went up some more. Dang, you guys are good. This is so much fun. Do you want to do No Country for Old Men? Or are we behind on a movie that I skipped because I did this one? Your choice, Sean.
We've got to do, gosh, what were we talking? I feel like we got to get to some of these 80s, classics. And I'm just thinking, God.
It was Above the Law you wanted to do.
Oh, we haven't done Above the Law. We've got to do Above the Law, aka
Above the
Nico.
Law. Next week on Double Impact, it's Above the Law with Steven Seagal. Right. I'm going to take you to the bank, the blood bank.
That's right. I missed. I never miss.